7%. Chapter 41. Purple Poisonous Fog. Everyone stepped into the Snake Mist Valley and found that the valley was already a sea of fire, the underworld, and countless low-level demonic beasts died in the sea of fire. What's more, like a hob plowing, the rocks were cut open. Looking at this tragic scene, Lin Haoyang knew that this was a trace left by the nascent soul cultivator spell. Everyone, these superficial low-level demonic beasts died under the aftermath of the magic power of 2 golden core cultivators, but there are countless holes in the Snake Mist Valley, and I don't know how many demonic beasts are hiding. Our task is to clean up these remaining demonic beasts and prevent them from forming a group of demonic beasts. More importantly, to find out the specific location of the snake soul flower and wait for the 2 foundation building ancestors to kill the phoenix-tailed poisonous dragon before picking it up. Take the snake soul flower. Quote. After Su Ling'er finished speaking, everyone nodded and understood. This seemingly easy task is actually very difficult. Soon, 50 foundation building cultivators were divided into 5 groups, each with 10 people, and they went to the depths of Snake Mist Valley. According to Lin Haoyang, Su Ling'er divided Lin Haoyang into a group with Wang Haibo and Li Maolin, while she herself was in a group with Wang Siquan. In this way, it would not be possible for Wang Haibo to find out how to avenge private revenge. At the opportunity to kill 2 people. Soon, Lin Haoyang's team advanced to the depths of the Snake Mist Valley. Lin Haoyang was cautious, offering 2-3 talented swords around him. If demonic beasts attacked, 1 sword flew out and he could be killed under the sword. Wang Haibo sacrificed a sea bowl. From time to time, a water dragon flew out of the bowl to tear demonic beasts into pieces. Li Maolin followed Wang Haibo and sacrificed a handful of wooden flying swords to remove some of Wang Haibo's leftovers. Demonic beasts. 10 foundation building cultivators walked together, and even if 2 or 3 tier 3 demonic beasts suddenly rushed out, they could be killed immediately by everyone. It's just that Lin Haoyang and Wang Haibo are calculating with each other, they both want to kill the killer and solve each other. Just after everyone had advanced for 2 to 3 kilometers, Lin Haoyang and the others stopped because the fog in front of them had changed, and the white fog was mixed with a hint of purple. Seeing this purple mist, Lin Haoyang sensed something was wrong, and Li Tianyan was also aware that the situation was wrong. Li Tianyan is a cultivator from the 8th floor of the foundation building in the Chongshan building. He temporarily serves as the team leader of Lin Haoyang. Li Tianyan is a cultivator from a big sect who has some vision. Stop. There is a problem with this purple mist. Li Tianyan said cautiously. Hearing Li Tianyan's reminder, everyone also found something was wrong. Where the purple fog passed by, all vegetation quickly withered. No, this fog is poisonous. Lin Haoyang's expression changed, as he shouted and backed away frantically. When Lin Haoyang was reminded, other people realized that it was wrong, and they also turned over and retreated, but the purple mist spread too fast, and before Lin Haoyang all 10 people withdrew, the purple mist came straight to everyone, as if it were spiritual. In particular, Wang Haibo and Li Maolin had been wary of Lin Haoyang. When Lin Haoyang reminded everyone, their reaction was slow. Fortunately, Wang Haibo was outstanding. When the purple mist spread over, as everyone successfully evacuated, Li Maolin cultivation base only had the 2nd floor of the foundation building and could not escape the purple mist. Li Maolin was approached by the mist. His complexion changed suddenly, and he felt that the purple mist was eroding his flesh and blood, fearing that his flesh and blood would turn into pus in a moment. Thinking of this, Li Maolin hurriedly urged the wooden sword in his hand to form a chi to stop the erosion of the purple mist. Unexpectedly, the purple mist was so fierce and unusual. Sword chi could not stop it for a moment and was broken by the purple mist. Even the tier 3 low-grade wooden sword in Li Maolin's hand was attacked and rotted into a pile of wood residue. Li Maolin was horrified, his face was full of horror, and he dared not fight 1 or 2 more, and ran out of the purple mist, but before Lin Maolin could run far away, his flesh and blood gradually corrupted. Help me, Li Maolin asked for help, but the 9 Lin Haoyang did not dare to personally forget to move. Soon, Li Maolin's mixed flesh and blood were corroded clean, and in the end there was no skeleton left. But fortunately, the purple mist will not expand after it has spread to a certain range, otherwise the entire purple mist will be wiped out. Lin Haoyang looked at the purple mist, afraid after a while, such a terrifying purple mist, I was afraid that only nascent soul cultivator could deal with it. What should I do now? Asked a cultivator on the 4th floor of the foundation building. This purple mist is weird and abnormal. I can't deal with it at all. Now we should change our direction and see if there is such a purple mist in other places. If the entire Snake Mist Valley is covered by purple mist, our family will have to make early plans. Li Tianyan said helplessly. Lin Haoyang nodded and signaled that this situation should be reconciled with other teams. After seeing the power of Ziwu, other people didn't dare to stay longer, so everyone turned around and hurried towards Suling. Li Maolin was buried in the poisonous mist. Wang Haibo was already desperate. Seeing such a turnaround, when he joined forces with Wang Siquan, he was afraid that he would not be able to deal with Lin Haoyang. Soon, the 9 Lin Haoyang rushed in the direction of Sulir in the Snake Mist Valley, killing demonic beasts along the way. Because of the purple mist, the third-order demonic beasts that were killed, everyone only dared to collect the main materials. Along the way, everyone encountered several large-scale demonic beasts, and gathered 7 or 8 Tier 3 demonic beasts, hundreds of Tier 1 and Tier 2 demonic beasts, and everyone fought hard, and this group of demonic beasts dispersed, Tier 3 demonic beasts all beheaded. However, in the large-scale battle, 2 foundation-building early-stage cultivators were injured and their combat power was halved. If they encounter this large-scale demonic beasts again, they may suffer casualties. Boom! As everyone cleaned up the demonic beasts' materials, there was a loud noise not far away, followed by the sound of rock cracking, fire and wind blades dancing all over the sky. Lin Haoyang knew that Zheng Jicheng and the phoenix-tailed poisonous scorpion were not far away. It is likely to affect them. Thinking about this, Lin Haoyang ran away, and some people who wanted to understand also followed. Wang Haibo learned to be clever. Where Lin Haoyang went, he followed to death. Lin Haoyang moved, and everyone evacuated. However, the road ahead was blocked, and Lin Haoyang and the others had become headless flies at the moment, and didn't know the direction at all, but fortunately, no high-ranked demonic beasts appeared. What should I do now? Li Tianyan asked Lin Haoyang. After 2 crises, Li Tianyan realized that Lin Haoyang was extremely sensitive to danger, as if he could avoid danger instinctively, so he wanted to ask Lin Haoyang how to deal with it. Lin Haoyang frowned. He didn't expect that Li Tianyan would ask his opinion. The cultivation base of the cultivator present was at the bottom. Shouldn't he have the least say at this time? I don't know, we have lost our way in the Snake Mist Valley. Regarding the poisonous mist, we must figure out whether it is only one place or all over the Snake Mist Valley. So we have to find a way to inform the ancestors of Nascent Soul, otherwise the poisonous fog will become the biggest obstacle to this operation. Also, we need to join other teams as soon as possible. Then found the Snake Soul Flower. Lin Haoyang said. Li Tianyan nodded, obviously agreeing with Lin Haoyang's statement. He was also extremely jealous of the poisonous fog. A trace of reluctance flashed across his face, and he hesitated a few times before he took out a third-order middle-grade note-seeking note, and said, "This is the third-order mid-rate search note given by the ancestor. Even if the fog is covered up here, it can automatically send the letter to the ancestor of Nascent Soul. I will tell the purple fog first." With that said, Li Tianyan urged the tactics and quickly branded the purple fog incident on it. After the characterization was completed, Li Tianyan released the sound transmission talisman. Lin Haoyang was curious about this sound-seeking symbol, but didn't expect to be able to automatically find the target to transmit the message. Looking at the curiosity in Lin Haoyang's eyes, Li Tianyan explained. This kind of magical charm needs to be sealed with a ray of breath before it can be found and sent. The restrictions are quite large, so it is not widely spread. 7%. Chapter 42. Feng Yusho in distress. Lin Haoyang's heart moved. It turned out that it was a directional sound transmission talisman, which could only transmit sound to a certain person. This was indeed very restrictive, but in a special period, its effect became apparent. Soon, Zheng Jicheng, who was still fighting the phoenix-tailed poisonous flood dragon, flew in front of his eyes. Seeing this aura, he recognized that it was the music-seeking note he had given him. At the center of the eyebrows, a stream of information flooded into my head. After reading it, Zheng Jicheng's face was extremely ugly. According to Li Tianyan's description, the power of the purple mist was not as powerful as Tier 5 demonic beasts. Could it be that there is still a Tier 5 demonic beasts that is good at using poison in this Snake Mist Valley? If so, things can be difficult to handle. After a little hesitation, he passed the matter to Zhu Xiao to see how to solve it. On the other side, the 9 Lin Haoyang people kept sweeping the low-level demonic beasts in the Snake Mist. After that battle, they converged a lot, not seeking to be killed, but to defeat. Nevertheless, each person still consumes a huge amount, and only 40% of the spirit power is left, and they can only take turns to deal with demonic beasts from all directions. Just when everyone was exhausted, there was a sound of fighting in front of him. Li Tianyan was overjoyed. Looking at this posture, it should be that a certain golden core cultivator is fighting with tier 4 demonic beasts. If they can help him win tier 4 demonic beasts can also be protected by a golden core cultivator. Thinking of this, Li Tianyan rushed to the fighting place with everyone. After spending half a stick of incense, the 9 people broke through to the place of fighting. They saw Feng Yusho fight a tier 4 armadillo. Feng Yusho was a spiritual roots cultivator. What he sacrificed was a tier 4 middle-grade green Rui scepter. Under the control of the green Rui scepter, countless green vines gush out around Feng Yusho, which seals the armadillo like a prison, but the 4th order armadillo has an unusually thick leather armor, and Feng Yusho is not good at breaking armor. Spells, both sides can only fight attrition wars. The 4th order armadillo relies on an instinctive body. Feng Yusho relies on spirit power to spur the green Rui scepter. When spirit power is exhausted, the armadillo will also break out. At that time Feng Yusho can only be slaughtered. But fortunately, I met Lin Haoyang and everyone, and Feng Yusho was overjoyed. Before he had time to ask the reason, he said, "This tier 4 demonic beasts has been trapped by me. You can quickly help me kill this monster." Lin Haoyang and the others also knew their priorities. Although they didn't have much spirit power left, they all tried their best to attack the armadillos with their magical items. Even if the tier 4 armadillo had thick leather armor, but faced with the indiscriminate bombing of the 9 Lin Haoyang, he was trapped by Feng Yusho and had to resist. Soon, the skin of the 4th order armadillo was broken and fleshy. Seeing that the situation was not good, the 4th order armadillo opened his mouth and vomited, punching out the inner alchemy he had been conceiving for many years, and came straight to Lin Haoyang. Seeing the inner alchemy flying, Lin Haoyang was shocked. This was a full blow of the 4th order demonic beasts, and immediately sacrificed the fire cloud cover. Others also secretly screamed in their hearts. Unexpectedly, the 4th order demonic beasts would bear such grudges, but there was no other way. Each will sacrifice their own defense magical item. 9 tier 3 defensive magical items form 9 defensive barriers. These defensive magical items are of different grades, but they win in quantity. Tier 4 armadillos are attacked by the inner alchemy, which bursts through the 4 layers of defense at a time, which stops the demonic beasts. With a blow from the inner alchemy, the 4 people who were defeated by the defense magical item immediately spewed a mouthful of blood, which was the backlash of the destruction of the magical item. Seeing that the 4th order armadillo had not achieved any merit in a single blow, he immediately wanted to operate the inner alchemy to blast everyone, and Lin Haoyang's heart jumped, and the soul-fixing technique was about to be activated. When he was ready to regret the 4th order demonic beasts, Feng Yusho. Control the green Rui scepter, grow thousands of vines, and bind tier 4 armadillos. Just now let the 4th order armadillo succeed, and almost killed everyone, which made Feng Yusho ashamed. How dare to let him be fierce again? Now that everyone broke through the leather armor of the 4th order armadillo, Feng Yusho controlled the vines. These wounds penetrated and destroyed the flesh, muscles and bones of the 4th order armadillo. Soon, under Feng Yusho's control, the green vine cut his heart veins from the inside and learned about this opponent. Due to the death of the 4th order armadillo, the inner alchemy also lost control and fell on the grass, making everyone greedy, but Lin Haoyang and others understood that this thing belonged to Feng Yusho's trophy. Let go of the 4th order armadillo entangled by the vine, and as the vine fades, a broken 4th order armadillo appears in front of everyone. Looking at the corpse of tier 4 demonic beasts, everyone was hot, and at the moment Feng Yusho's spirit power was exhausted, and some people even had a heart for murder and treasure. Feng Yusho's complexion is pale as paper. Just now, with all his strength, the spirit power in his body has long been out of 10. In this snake mist valley, he has to rely on Lin Haoyang and others. Seeing that everyone's eyes are hot, if you don't give some benefits, I am afraid that there will be problems. First beckon to accept the 4th order monster core, this way. You have done a lot to kill this tier 4 armadillo. The broken leather armor of this armadillo is of little value. Except for that pair of fangs, you can divide it. As soon as Feng Yusho's words fell, the eagerness in everyone's eyes became even greater, and Li Tianyan cupped fist said, "Thank you for the reward of Elder." With that, everyone went straight to the tier 4 armadillo corpse, although the most precious pair of fangs was left to Feng Yusho. However, the flesh and blood of the 4th level demonic beasts and the broken leather armor are also valuable. Lin Haoyang has quick eyes and spurs the 3-handed Sankai sword to cut large pieces of leather armor. For him, using these broken leather armor may not be impossible to refine. Make a third-tier high-grade defensive magical item, wait until the leather armor is divided, and then get some flesh and blood. Soon, the flesh and blood of a 3,000 to 4,000 tier 4 armadillo was divided up by everyone. How much it can get depends on its own ability. Lin Haoyang noticed that Wang Haibo took out a black dagger at this moment. The quality, even reaching the third tier mid-range, made Lin Haoyang heightened his vigilance. This person was not as weak as he thought. At the same time, Lin Haoyang took out 3 swords with 3 talents, which also surprised Wang Haibo. He didn't expect Lin Haoyang to have a complete set of magical item, which made Lin Haoyang cunning. The complete set of magical items are difficult to refine and control, but most of them are extremely powerful. Generally, cultivators that use the complete set of magical items cannot be underestimated. Li Tianyan took out the fangs of the pair of tier 4 armadillos. Although eager in his heart, he knew that this thing could not belong to him. He pressed his greed in his heart and sent it to Feng Yusho. He took the fangs, sealed the corners of his mouth and smiled, and asked. According to the plan, you shouldn't have waited to show up here. Could something have happened? Listening to Feng Yusho's question, Li Tianyan had said the purple poisonous fog as it was, and there was nothing hidden in it, because the snake soul flower was related to the Changyan Tower and also related to whether he could complete the mission. After listening to Li Tianyan's description, his complexion immediately changed. A stick of incense can corrode a foundation-building cultivator in time. Even Feng Yusho himself is not sure to deal with this poisonous fog, but fortunately there are 2 nascent soul elders. The ancestor sits in the town, and it's good for them to carry this thing. The most important thing now is to find the snake soul flower and seal it in the cultivation way. Everyone, since we have already killed tier 4 demonic beasts, the most urgent thing is to find the snake soul flower. The Snake Mist Valley is like a maze with dense fog covering the way. Although my Changyan Tower has a Pathfinder map. But it is no longer needed at this moment. I only know that the snake soul flower grows in a cold pool. The cold pool has been born for thousands of years. The water in the pool is icy, so that the snake soul flower can grow. Tan, can you see Han Tan all the way? Quote. Everyone shook their heads. Not long after they entered the Snake Mist Valley, they were forced to retreat by the poisonous mist, and when they encountered nascent soul fighting skills, they had completely lost their way. Seeing everyone shaking their heads, Feng Yusho didn't report much hope, and said. Then I'll look for them while I'm waiting, and clean up the demonic beasts group. 7%. Chapter 43 Wang Haibo's Death. Feng Yusho led Lin Haoyang and others through the Snake Mist Valley, killing demonic beasts while looking for the location of the cold lake. Feng Yusho led the team, and everyone's situation improved. Demonic beasts Qunji basically met them. It's collapsed when touched. It's not the enemy of oneness at all. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang felt that the battle fluctuations above his head gradually dissipated, and even the original flames and wind whirlpool disappeared. Lin Haoyang knew that the battle between demonic beasts of tier 5 and the 2 nascent souls finally came to an end, but he didn't know how the battle was going. At this moment, Lin Haoyang Dantian flashed a slight change. A trace of pure ice attribute spirit power was involved in Dantian. This ice attribute spirit power is extremely pure. One strand is comparable to the 2 strands of the 5th order spiritual veins here. That is to say, the source of this spirit power is more pure than the 5th order spiritual veins in the Snake Mist Valley. So pure spirit power, I am afraid that only Hanton can have such purity. Lin Haoyang's heart moved greatly. It seemed that the cold pool was nearby. After some hesitation, Lin Haoyang came to Feng Yusho and said, Senior, I cultivated a special cultivation technique, which can perceive spirit power. Just now, I felt an extremely pure ice attribute spirit power. I am afraid that the cold pool is nearby. After listening to Lin Haoyang's words, Feng Yusho felt joyful. Although he was very curious about Lin Haoyang's cultivation technique, what kind of cultivation technique could actually feel the purity of spirit power, but he didn't ask too much, and immediately said, Can you sense the specific position? Lin Haoyang shook his head. He didn't know the exact location, but it was definitely nearby. Seeing this, Feng Yusho felt a little regretful, but immediately said, The cold lake may be nearby. Everyone spread out to look for it. The cold air in that cold lake is easy to distinguish. Hearing that Hanton was nearby, the crowd suddenly became energetic, and immediately dispersed, searching everywhere. Lin Haoyang relied on the spirit power of the ice attribute in Dantian, and began to look around. Not far from Lin Haoyang, Wang Haibo followed him like a shadow. Of course Lin Haoyang knew Wang Haibo was behind him, but now there are many people with mixed eyes. unable to start, had to find another opportunity. With that subtle connection, Lin Haoyang came to a cliff with a height of 100 meters high. There was a cave on the cliff, and mist was constantly floating from it. There are countless holes in the Snake Mist Valley, and I don't know how many such caves I have encountered along the way, but the first one that can breathe mist has attracted Lin Haoyang's attention for a while. The cave is located on a 40-foot-high cliff. Lin Haoyang went up with his sword and came to the entrance of the cave. There was a sudden chill on his face. The frozen Lin Haoyang shuddered. Seeing this chill, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. It seems that the cold Tan should be here. Just when Lin Haoyang was about to turn around to tell everyone about this, 2 water dragons attacked from behind. When the water dragon encountered the cold, an ice armor was formed immediately, and the power of the water dragon was a bit more powerful than before. Lin Haoyang knew that this was Wang Haibo, who was hiding in the dark. As long as Lin Haoyang was killed here, he would not only be able to solve the trouble, but also lead him to the Chongshan Tower to find the Snake Soul Flower. Then the reward for the Chongshan Tower will be quite a few. This move can be regarded as killing 2 birds with 1 stone. However, Lin Haoyang was prepared for a long time, and immediately 2 three-handed swords flew out and turned into 2 sword rays and went straight to 2 ice dragons. Touch! Suddenly, the 2 ice dragons were smashed into pieces by Lin Haoyang, but Lin Haoyang was still sealed at the entrance of the cave and could not go out. Lin Haoyang's expression was gloomy, and he stopped to Wang Hai. You are very good at hiding, so strong, but you don't want to fight with me, and you want to lead me here. Not far away, Wang Haibo's figure slowly appeared, holding a sea bowl in his hand. At this moment, he was no longer weak, as if he had been replaced by another person, and said, Hey, if you kill you in public, some people will trouble me, but all this should be over. To blame, you are the person chosen by Su Linger and blocked the way of my miss. After that, Wang Haibo suddenly urged the sea bowl in his hand. In the few water in the bowl, 6 water dragons were drilled again. The water dragons grew long in the wind, and in a short while, they turned into 6 water dragons the size of 20 to 30 meters, eroded by the cold. Down, it turned into an ice dragon again, and the chill was pressing. Seeing this, Wang Haibo laughed up to the sky and said with a frantic face, It's really God's help. As long as you kill you, you are said to be killed by demonic beasts who escaped from this cave. When I arrived, you turned into an ice sculpture. Seeing the 6 ice dragons flying, Lin Haoyang's expression was solemn. This water dragon turned into ice and its strength might have reached the power of the foundation building late stage. Lin Haoyang didn't dare to insist on it. Lin Haoyang sacrificed 3 Senkai swords as bait, letting Wang Haibo relax his vigilance and fight the Senkai sword formation with all his strength. Wang Haibo smiled, thinking that even if it was a sword formation, he couldn't keep up with his move in response to the situation. Just when Wang Haibo was proud, Lin Haoyang violently activated the soul-fixing technique, and Wang Haibo felt that his own soul was hit by a hammer. Wang Haibo secretly said a bad cry. Lin Haoyang unexpectedly knows how to attack Wang Haibo. When Wang Haibo had a headache and was about to split, a flying sword broke through the air and cut off Wang Haibo's head with a single sword. Wang Haibo opened his eyes full of horror. He did not expect that he would be turned against the general by Lin Haoyang. In fact, he fell into Lin Haoyang's trap early in the morning and waited for him to take action. Looking at Lin Haoyang with a smile on his face, Wang Haibo's heart was full of unwilling. Bump. The 6 ice dragons did not have Wang Haibo's control, and they had already lost control at this moment. Lin Haoyang secretly said a bad cry. There was such a big movement here, I was afraid that Feng Yusho would soon be invited. Lin Haoyang hurriedly disappeared here. He didn't even take Wang Haibo's storage bag. Lin Haoyang was curious about the sea bowl, but these were all Wang Haibo's status symbols. He took them away, right? Does it show that Wang Haibo was murdered? Not long after Lin Haoyang left, Feng Yusho rushed over. His golden core cultivation base was extremely fast. He saw Wang Haibo's body as soon as he arrived. His complexion immediately changed, and he saw the storage bag and Wang Haibo's hand in hand. The magical item sea bowl is still here, and it can be killed in such a short period of time. It seems that this person should not have a low cultivation base. Lin Haoyang and Wang Haibo had a death feud, and Feng Yusho had heard about 1 or 2, but with Lin Haoyang's breakthrough foundation building's 3-layer cultivation base, it was impossible to kill Wang Haibo in such a short time. To complete the kill in such a short time, besides him, there is only Li Tianyan who has this ability, but Li Tianyan has just been transferred from the inside of the Chongshan Tower, and he has no complaints with Wang Haibo. Why should he kill him? Just as Feng Yusho was hesitant, other foundation building cultivators slowly rushed forward, and everyone was shocked to see Wang Haibo's head in a different place. Unexpectedly, there were still people killed here, and Lin Haoyang was also in the crowd at this moment. Because the cultivation base was low, it did not arouse everyone's suspicion. Even when Feng Yusho turned his eyes to stare at Lin Haoyang remained unchanged. For Lin Haoyang, Feng Yusho also knew a little bit. This person was chosen by Su Ling'er. He will be vigorously cultivated by the Chongshan Tower. After careful consideration, he feels that Su Ling'er and Xian are offended for a rogue cultivator without any background. I'm not wise, so Zhu Ding won't pursue it for the time being, and I'll talk about it when I find Su Ling'er later. Feng Elder, I'm afraid this is the place where the cold lake is. Li Tianyan asked in surprise as he looked at the cave halfway up. Everyone hadn't noticed before, but when Li Tianyan reminded them, everyone also noticed the cold air. It seemed that this was indeed the place where the cold lake was. Feng Yusho smiled with joy, and completely forgotten Wang Haibo's death, took Wang Haibo's storage bag and sea bowl, and said immediately, I'll give the teams luck, let them gather here. After that, Feng Yusho took out a fist-sized red bead from the storage bag, injected some spirit power and threw it into the air. After the red bead flew up to a certain height, it exploded with a bang, burst and turned into a burst of red. The light lasts for a long time. This red light can last about half an hour, and other people can quickly come when they see this red light. Let's wait here first. After Feng Yusho finished speaking, he raised his hand to release a real fire and burned Wang Haibo's body. When everyone saw this, there was no one to stop him, and Lin Haoyang let out a sigh of relief. 7%. Chapter 44. Cold Lake Snake Soul Flower. After a stick of incense, the two nascent soul cultivators arrived first. They escaped at an amazing speed, turning into two streams of light and falling in front of everyone, but their faces were not good looking. Zheng Jichang glanced at the people and said, Have you found the snake soul flower? Feng Yusho took a step forward. He also saw that the two of them looked a little bad, so he didn't dare to say more, and said directly, The cave on the cliff is very cold. It should be where the cold lake is. And this place is similar to what is depicted on the map. Finally, Zheng Jichang's face looked better, and even Zhu Xiao, who was on the side, showed a smile of joy. Zheng Jichang glanced at the crowd in the red light in the sky, and said, Wait for half an hour. After the others arrive, enter the cold lake to capture the snake soul flower. Let me tell you the bad news first. The phoenix-tailed poisonous flood dragon is already a tier 5 mid-level strength. This time we are fighting in its old nest. Together, Zhu fellow Taoist and I are only able to damage it, and finally let it be damaged. Escape. Therefore, we must pick the snake soul flower as quickly as possible, and then withdraw from the Snake Mist Valley, otherwise it will be difficult to wait for the phoenix-tailed poisonous firefly to find other tier 5 demonic beasts. Quote. As soon as Zheng Jichang said this, everyone immediately changed their colors. Unexpectedly, the phoenix-tailed poisonous flood dragon was so difficult that the two nascent soul cultivators could not win it together. Lin Haoyang also looked ugly, and the phoenix-tailed poisonous flood dragon would definitely go to rescue the soldiers, and the Snake Mist Valley and the purple poisonous mist were hidden in the dark. Soon, people came one after another. As everyone returned, Zheng Jichang's complexion became more ugly. There were originally 7 golden core cultivators and 50 foundation building cultivators. Now there are only 6 golden core members and 32 foundation building cultivator members who can rush to here, which is equivalent to the destruction of 2 teams. Lin Haoyang glanced around and found that Su Ling'er's team had only returned 7 people, and each of them had serious injuries. Su Ling'er glanced at Lin Haoyang, and saw that Li Maolin and Wang Haibo were gone, so she felt relieved, and Lin Haoyang did not disappoint him. As for Wang Siquan, seeing Wang Haibo disappeared, he was secretly shocked, and felt that Wang Haibo's search for him would be hidden in his heart forever, and he would not reveal half of it. Finally, when the red light in the sky dissipated and no one arrived, Zhu Xiao's face was gloomy at this moment, because the golden core cultivator that could not make it was under Kai Yan sect, and this trip was regarded as a heavy loss. The time has come, and those who can no longer rush are afraid that they will never come, but the snake soul flower is right in front of them, and the benefits are indispensable. Zheng Jichang briefly said a few words of encouragement, and it was not very effective, so he didn't talk too much, exchanged eyes with Zhu Xiao, and immediately flew to the cave on the cliff. Seeing this, other people also knew that it was the last fight at this moment. As long as they picked the snake soul flower, they could return to Pyongyang City, and immediately others flew to the cave on the cliff. Su Linger came to Lin Haoyang and said softly, "The two are resolved." Lin Haoyang nodded, and when he saw Su Linger, Lin Haoyang's doubts arose. At first, Wang Haibo said that all of this is related to Su Linger. He was confused about Su Linger's selection of him, but he was also confused. I could feel that Su Linger paid too much attention to him. Seeing Lin Haoyang's appearance, he said, "Injured." Lin Haoyang shook his head. The two were silent for each other, and flew towards the cave. The cave is small outside and large inside, and the inside of the cave is extremely wide. At this moment, Zhu Xiao raised a fireball above his head to illuminate the surroundings. It can be seen that the walls of the wide courtyard are full of holes and dark. Lin Haoyang knew that this snake soul flower was so important to the phoenix-tailed poisonous flood dragon, and he would definitely send a large number of demonic beasts to garrison. There are 2 nascent soul ancestors in town, and everyone is not worried about what waves these demonic beasts can uncover. Everyone moved forward, feeling that the cold current was getting colder and colder, and even thick layers of ice began to appear on the surrounding stone walls. Lin Haoyang and others could only prop up a spirit power shield to protect themselves from the erosion of the cold. At a distance of 200 meters, this place has become an underground palace of ice and snow, full of ice and snow. Roar. As expected, there is also demonic beasts guard here, and the demonic beasts are covered with white hair, which looks like a great ape. When the giant ape struck, Zheng Jicheng offered a mountain fan, and immediately a wind blade went straight to the giant ape. The giant ape's 4th-level middle-grade cultivation base, but he could not go through a round in the hands of Zheng Jicheng, and he died. Hands. Due to time constraints, Zheng Jicheng only took the inner alchemy of the giant ape, and the other materials were divided among the 6 golden core cultivators. After walking forward in this way for half an hour, I encountered 3 Tier 4 demonic beasts, plus the Tier 3 and Tier 4 demonic beasts introduced by everyone before. The defensive power here is already very strong. If Qingyunzong wants to attack such a one, the lair of demonic beasts of Tier 5 is afraid that it will suffer heavy casualties, and may not be able to take it. Half an hour later, the surrounding space stretched again, and for a while, even Zhu Xiao's flames could not reach the end, and in front of everyone, there was a 1,000-meter-sized cold pool. The place was bitterly icy, but the water in the cold pool was not frozen, even with a hint of colorful color. And in the middle of the cold lake, there are 3 or 4 plants growing in the water, and 3 of them have a strange flower that resembles a colorful snake. Seeing these snake-shaped flowers, Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao were delighted. These strange flowers are exactly the goal of this time, the snake soul flower. Lin Haoyang looked at the snake soul flower. Dantian was filled with desire, and the Buddha profound technique was eager to move, as if urging Lin Haoyang to swallow the snake soul flower. Lin Haoyang smiled bitterly. If he was thinking about these snake soul flowers, he would be afraid. It will soon be photographed into flesh by the 2 nascent soul ancestors. Others also have fiery eyes, especially the 6 golden core cultivators. If they can capture a snake soul flower, then the baby is expected. But the 2 nascent soul cultivators sit here. Whoever dares to act rashly may be killed on the spot, but fortunately, the nascent soul cultivator has no use for the snake soul flower, and will not compete with them. There should be 4 snake soul flowers here. Where did one go? Zhu Xiao asked. Zheng Jicheng's complexion is not good. Now there are only 3 snake soul flowers, and the 2 horrors of Chongshanlu and Scarlet Flame Valley are about to fight for this. No matter how many there are, I think I'll pick up the snake soul flower and leave here. If the phoenix-tailed poisonous waterfowl brings a helper, I am afraid it will be difficult to get out. Zheng Jicheng said solemnly. Zhu Xiao secretly said an old fox, but there were more people in Zhongshan Tower than in Red Flame Valley, and there was also the old ancestor of Washan in Zhongshan Tower. This 3rd snake soul flower must belong to Zhongshan Tower, but Zhu Xiao had no choice but to let's first withdraw from Snake Mist Valley and return to Terran territory. At this moment, a trace of purple mist quietly appeared above the cold lake. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang's face changed drastically. This purple qi was familiar to him. It was the purple poisonous mist that poisoned Li Maolin. Immediately, Lin Haoyang took Su Linger's hand back. Su Linger was unsure, so he wanted to withdraw it. When I am a jade hand. Li Tianyan also recognized the purple mist, and immediately shouted. Ancestor, the purple mist is exactly what I and you said in the sound transmission. It is extremely terrifying. Zheng Jicheng's face changed when he heard Li Tianyan's words, because the purple mist had already begun to spread to the snake soul flower. The place was empty, and one could see that there was a snake-shaped figure in the purple poisonous mist. Be careful, there may be a tier 5 demonic beast that is good at using poison in this purple mist. After speaking, Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao went straight to the snake soul flower, and they must not let the 3 snake soul flower fall into the mouth of demonic beasts. The 6 golden core cultivators were anxious and urged the magical item in their hands to hit the purple mist, which was riddled with holes for a while, but when the spells dissipated, the purple mist rushed to the snake soul flower again. Zheng Jicheng was anxious, and he sacrificed his mountain and water fan, blasted a gust of wind, and shouted. Naughty animal. Hue is rampant. 8%. Chapter 45. Purple Yama. The 2 nascent soul ancestors fought with the 6 golden core and the figures in the purple mist. However, no matter how the golden core cultivator casts spells, the purple mist is unscathed, but fortunately there are 6 golden core cultivators who do not hesitate. Spirit Power's frantic attack finally dragged the purple mist for a while. At this time, more than 30 foundation building cultivators were relieved and began to attack the purple mist. For a while, the colorful spirit power flashed, and the whole cave swayed. Roar! Just when the 2 nascent souls, Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao, were more than 10 meters away from the snake soul flower, a crazy roar came from the purple mist, which was obviously threatening both Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao not to touch the 3 snake soul flowers. Touch! The purple mist suddenly exploded, and the purple mist that had only covered half of it suddenly soared, like a tsunami, rushing toward the 2 nascent soul cultivators, and the 2 who were planning to pick snake soul flowers also had to stop their hands to deal with 1 or 2. Zhu Xiao urged the supernatural powers of the Red Flame sect to produce a polar sunfire, rolling towards the poisonous fog, and a piece of red and purple suddenly collided with each other. The fog also melted away a large expanse of polar sunfire. Zheng Jicheng seized the opportunity and poured a large amount of spirit power into the landscape fan. The original leisurely landscape fan suddenly changed. The wind blade revolved on the fan bone. Zheng Jicheng slammed the fan, and a tornado went straight into the purple mist. The purple mist was first restrained by the fire of the polar sun, and now it encountered a tornado. It was finally lost. It was swept into the tornado and hit the ice wall of the stone wall. The purple mist was about to corrode a large hole in the ice wall. The purple poisonous mist dissipated, and the figure inside finally appeared. I saw a big purple snake about 10 meters away. The neck of the snake stood up. There were 4 white skulls on the back of the snake. Looking at this scene, Su Linger's face turned pale and soft. Falling down beside Lin Haoyang, his mouth trembled. Purple Yama. At one point, the complexion of the cultivator in Chongshanlu and Scarlet Flame Valley changed wildly, and even Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao didn't take a step back. Obviously, this thing was extremely terrifying. Zi Yanluo stared at Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao fiercely, with angry resentment in his eyes. In the cold pool, Purple Yama has long been discovered, and occupied the place with phoenix-tailed poisonous flood dragon. Just waiting for the 4 snake soul flowers to mature, Purple Yama has swallowed 1 snake soul flower, breaking through to the 4th late stage, and Lin Haoyang and others have arrived. At that time, it has been refining the snake soul anther power in its body. As long as the snake soul flower refining is completed, it can continue to swallow it, and it will break through to become tier 5 demonic beasts, but it was unexpected that Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao would suddenly attack. Before, Ziyan Luo was unable to refining the snake soul flower, so he could only use poisonous fog to kill everyone. The purple mist that Lin Haoyang and the others encountered was actually controlled by it, but Lin Haoyang was vigilant and failed to succeed, but the other team, the Golden Core Cultivator, failed to respond in time and all died under its hands. Su Linger is the core member of the Chongshan Tower. His grade is about the same age as Lin Haoyang. He is already on the 6th floor of the foundation building. His talent can be seen in general. In the past few years, he has seen many ancient books in the Chongshan Tower, including a volume that records Purple Yama. 10,000 years ago, a transfiguration demon king suddenly broke into the second territory opened by the human race Ping and Dao territory, and began a massacre. At that time, the purple gas was overwhelming, and there was no vitality in the place where the poisonous mist passed. Spiritual qi exhausted, like a piece of the underworld, the human race suffered heavy losses. At that time, a total of 9 transformation god cultivators besieged this 6th level demon king. At that time, a great battle fought for 5 days and 5 nights. In the end, the 6th-level Demon King was beheaded, and the human race fell into the 6th-level Demon King. Only 3 people survived. People don't know where the demon will come from, and don't know its purpose. It seems that it was born only for killing, and wherever it goes, it looks like the underworld. So people call it the Purple Yama, and its appearance is exactly the purple giant snake with white skeletons on the back of the snake, making it a purple poisonous mist. Su Ling'er was supported by Lin Haoyang, and then she was relieved and said to Zheng Jicheng, Master Zheng, we must not let this purple Yamata escape, otherwise the tragedy of the past will repeat itself, and the human race will suffer countless deaths and injuries. Zheng Jicheng's face is ugly. Of course he knows the horror of Purple Yama, but fortunately, this Purple Yama has only the 4th order cultivation base. Otherwise, he would not dare to give him 100 courage. He turned to look at Zhu Xiao, seeing the other party also sinking, but in the end Zhu Xiao nodded. Seeing this, Zheng Jicheng felt cruel and said, Everyone, go all out. Immediately, Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao were the first to launch an offensive. A flame of extreme sun and a wind blade smashed the purple hell. Seeing the attack, a purple glow flashed in Ziyan Luo's eyes, his figure suddenly accelerated, and the speed was incredible. In a few breaths, he passed the 2 nascent soul cultivators and went straight to the 6 golden cores behind. Seeing the speed of Purple Yama, Lin Haoyang said inwardly that the 6 golden cores couldn't stop Purple Yama's attack. When the time came, Purple Yama would release poisonous fog, and they all had to explain here. When the attacks of the 2 nascent souls failed, and when they wanted to turn around and rescue them, the 6 golden cores each took out their defensive magical item to block the Purple Yama. However, Purple Yama slammed his mouth and spit out a purple inner alchemy, and immediately hit the 4th order middle grade defense magical item of a golden core cultivator on a heavy mountain building. Facing the purple inner alchemy, the defense of the magical item was like paper. He was corroded quickly, and hit the cultivator again. Seeing this, Ziyan immediately urged a flying needle with the length of his index finger in his hand, trying to fly the inner alchemy and save the Chongshanlu cultivator. Seeing this, Purple Yanluo could not make the purple smoke as he wished. The purple inner alchemy suddenly changed and spewed out a large purple poisonous mist. The Chongshanlu cultivator was in a hurry to avoid it. One arm was contaminated by the poisonous mist, but it was fortunate to save his life. The golden core cultivator gritted his teeth abruptly and cut off the corroded right arm, finally saving his life, but the right arm slashed itself, and the combat power was only 60 to 70% of the original, and the path was also cut off. Seeing that Ziyan Luo failed to achieve meritorious service in a single blow, he immediately stared at the purple smoke that was bad for it, dragged his inner alchemy, and smashed it at Ziyan again. However, at this moment, Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao arrived, and they suppressed Purple Yama so that it could no longer escape. Ziyan's complexion changed wildly. She was not sure to take over the inner alchemy of Ziyan Luo. Feng Yusho next to her turned the green Rui scepter, trying to push the vines to block 1 or 2, but the vines encountered the purple energy. And soon withered death, Ziyan was desperately in love with a bronze mirror, trying to block 1 or 2, but the inner alchemy hit the bronze mirror, the mirror's surface immediately shattered, and it was breached in an instant. However, Niden was also blocked for a while, but Ziyan had no other means to stop Niden from calling. Seeing this, Zheng Jicheng wanted to help, but Ziyan Luo desperately blocked it, and 4 skeletons appeared behind him, turning into 4 huge ghost fire skeletons, with purple ghost fires growing in his eye sockets, just like evil ghosts in the underworld. Seeing this evil spirit, Zheng Jicheng and Zhu Xiao's complexion changed drastically. It turned out that this Ziyan Luo's ultimate move was here, deliberately letting the 2 assist Ziyan and lure them into fools. At this moment, the 2 of them do not have enough skills to help. The other Golden Core Foundation building cultivators are too far apart and too late. Seeing this admiration, Su Ling'er's eyes were red. At the moment when the army was firing, Lin Haoyang once again urged the soul-fixing technique and forcibly hit Ziyan Luo. Divine sense is extremely fast, and it is not a problem for thousands of miles in an instant. When the inner alchemy of Ziyan Luo fell, Lin Haoyang's soul-fixing technique hit the spirit of Ziyan Luo. Roar. The intense pain of the soul caused Ziyan Luo to roar frantically. Although it failed to let it fall into a state of confusion, it still made it lose control of the inner alchemy. Ziyan seized the opportunity and immediately used the blood escape secret method, and instantly escaped 100 meters away. Let Purple Yan Luo Niden fall in the empty space, and even the 4 ghost fire skeletons began to appear unstable due to the shock of their souls. Zhang Jicheng and Zhu Xiao seized the opportunity and immediately performed their actions with all their strength, taking the opportunity to defeat the two ghost fire skeletons. Two ghost fire skeletons were broken apart, and Ziyan Luo wailed again. Ziyan Luo turned to look at Lin Haoyang, with hatred in his eyes, and then turned and ran. The two nascent souls still wanted to chase them again, but Ziyan Luo slammed his heart and directly detonated the inner alchemy that had been conceived for hundreds of years, turning them into a sky full of purple energy and forcing them to retreat. In this way, Purple Yama slipped away under the hands of the two. 8%. Chapter 46. Too many detours. Seeing Purple Yama escaping, everyone secretly breathed a sigh of relief, and finally saw the horror of Purple Yama, worthy of the name of Yama. With tier 4 strength, the two nascent souls and 6 golden cores were extremely embarrassed. Lin Haoyang casts the soul-fixing technique twice in a day, and at this moment, the spirit is extremely exhausted, as if returning to the state when he first cast the soul-fixing technique. Lin Haoyang bites the tip of his tongue fiercely, striving for a three-pointer. On the side, Su Ling'er saw something was wrong, and hurriedly supported Lin Haoyang. At the moment when Purple Yama lost consciousness, Su Ling'er felt a terrifying divine sense fluctuation behind Lin Haoyang. It seems that there must be something wrong with the Purple Yama spirit. It is related to Lin Haoyang. However, Su Ling'er was very clever and didn't ask more. This is Lin Haoyang's secret, so don't ask if you shouldn't ask. Lin Haoyang glanced at Su Ling'er, saw that Su Ling'er turned a deaf ear, and then let go of his previous doubts. Since Wang Haibo mentioned Su Ling'er, Lin Haoyang felt that Su Ling'er had any purpose in approaching him. But from now on, no matter what he meant, Su Ling'er shouldn't harm him. As for the purpose, Lin Haoyang felt that it would be clear after this mission. The purple Yama was removed, and the cultivators worked together to dissipate the purple mist left by the self-explosion of Purple Yama's inner alchemy, and the 3 snake soul flowers in the center of the cold pool appeared in front of everyone again. This time without hindrance, the 2 nascent soul ancestors finally picked 3 snake soul flowers into their hands, 2 of which were divided into Chongshanlu and 1 of Crimson Flame sect. After collecting the snake soul flower, the 2 nascent soul cultivators discussed returning to the human race area, but the phoenix-tailed poisonous flyer escaped alive and must have been blocked by the tier 5 demonic beasts on the way back. In addition, they suffered a heavy loss this time. I am afraid it was not the phoenix-tailed poisonous beasts' opponent. When everyone looked bitter, Su Ling'er said, "Master Zhang, why don't we detour too much? Although we will detour a long way, but we can avoid the interception of the phoenix-tailed poisonous flood dragon." Hearing Su Ling'er's suggestion, Zhang Jicheng narrowed his eyes. After thinking for a while, he felt that this method was feasible, and said, "Okay, let's go through the Tai Gate. This way is close to 40,000 li. Everyone must be prepared." Zhu Xiao also had no better way, so he had to withdraw with Zhang Jicheng. There must be other treasures besides the cold pool in Snake Mist Valley, but everyone in Lin Haoyang didn't dare to stay too much. Zhang Jicheng and Zhu Xiao sacrificed their flying spirit boats and chariots and went straight to the territory of Taiyamen. Fortunately, Lin Haoyang and the others detoured by 1 gate. On the way back to Pingyang City, the phoenix-tailed poisonous firefly led the 5th order polar dodo, the 5th order mammoth, and a large number of 4th order demonic beasts towards the Snake Mist Valley. However, Lin Haoyang and his group were willing to take 20,000 miles to detour, and they happened to miss demonic beasts such as phoenix-tailed poisonous dragon, and missed a life and death battle. There was 1 door on the detour. There were 3 tier 5 demonic beasts along the way. Everyone was more cautious than when they first came, but even if they were more cautious, they were still found by a tier 5 armored great ape. Everyone had a fight. Zhang Jicheng, after Zhu Xiao and the 2 nascent souls practiced rushing out of the spirit boat, they let everyone escape. After 2 nascent soul cultivators were broken, Ziyan was driving a flying spirit boat, and a golden core cultivator of the Red Flame sect was driving a chariot and fled to Tai Gate. Not long after, the 2 nascent soul cultivators, Zhang Jicheng and Zhu Xiao, got rid of the giant ape and chased the spirit boat, and everyone escaped from the territory of the giant ape. In this way, everyone tossed in the wild for half a year, and then escaped from the wild. When everyone fled to Tai Gate, Zhang Jicheng's spirit boat was almost shattered, Zhu Xiao's chariot was completely scrapped, everyone was even more exhausted, and 2 foundation building cultivators died on the road. This time, I went to the Snake Dance Valley to capture the Snake Soul Flower. It took 10 months. There was 1 golden core casualty, and more than 20 foundation building cultivators suffered heavy losses. But they got 3 snake soul flowers, which can refine at least 9 baby pill. With these 2 snake soul flowers, Zhongshan Tower can at least cultivate 3 nascent soul cultivators, and then the strength of Zhongshan Tower will be great. Increase. In this way, this action is not a loss. When they arrived at the Tai Gate area, Chongshan Tower, Qianzong and others did not dare to stay too much, and the 2 flying spirit treasures could no longer carry people. Zheng Jicheng promised Lin Haoyang and others 3,000 spirit stones on the spot. As for rogue cultivators who want to redeem Golden Core Lingbao, they can also go to Pingyang City to redeem them. The Golden Core is extremely expensive, and there are not many foundation building rogue cultivators that can buy it, but as long as you save, you will still have the opportunity to buy from Chongshanlu of. In the end, only one person open to Xian and Bada Wood attributed Golden Core spiritual thing Jasper Qinglian. Jasper Qinglian can only help the cultivator Golden Core of spiritual roots with wood attribute. So the price is far less expensive than Xian Jing, but it costs 30,000 spirit stones. Even so, the foundation building rogue cultivators sold all the spiritual things and borrowed some spirit stones to make up enough spirit stones. This time, the 15 foundation building rogue cultivators who set off to the Snake Mist Valley together, only 8 people were left who were able to return. Since then, the strength of Pingyang City has been greatly reduced, and the total number of foundation building cultivators is only 11 or 2. Lin Haoyang and the others were separated in the territory of Taiyamen. Xian and Su Linger followed Zheng Jicheng back to the Chongshan Tower. Zhu Xiao and others also returned to the Red Flame Valley, while Feng Yusho took the remaining rogue cultivators. Returned to Pingyang City. Only Lin Haoyang stayed in the territory of the Tai Gate, which is stronger than the Azure Cloud sect. There are 2 nascent soul cultivators and more than 20 golden core cultivators in the sect. Nowadays, the development is thriving. Lin Haoyang stayed at Tai Gate. In fact, he wanted to see if he could find demonic beasts who were good at footwork at Tai Gate to facilitate the transportation of Lin's materials. Lin Haoyang drove away and flew to a square city within the Tai Gate. This square city is the nearest square city from Qingyunzong, called Tianhefeng City, the size of which is about the same as that of Hepingyang City, and it also has golden core. The cultivator sits down. It took a month for Lin Haoyang to rush from the wild border to Tianhefeng City. Although it is Feng City, the population is average in Pingyang City, much larger than Fengyuanfeng City. Entering Feng City, I found that there are not only various shops, but also inns and restaurants, just like a city. Lin Haoyang is really tired these days, and thinks of renting a room to rest in the inn. Lin Haoyang finally chose the Tai Inn, which was a property under the house. Lin Haoyang felt that it turned out to be the property of the landlord, family, and safety should be the best. Walking into the Tai Inn, a man greeted him and said, "This fellow Taoist wants to stay in a hotel. Our Tai Inn is definitely the safest in the entire Tianhefeng City." Lin Haoyang nodded and said, "What's the price?" 5 spirit stones a month. Lin Haoyang frowned slightly, his face showed a trace of anger, and said, 5 spirit stones a month. Why don't you grab them? Presumably, the rent of 30 spirit stones a year in Pingyang City, the room here is more than twice as expensive, and there is no spiritual field attached. The man smiled awkwardly, and said with a smile, "Fellow Taoist, don't be too expensive. In our Tai Inn, we can provide you with protection. There are also earth fire rooms and pill refining rooms in the store. We can meet the needs." Luo Suyang was overjoyed. He didn't expect that there was an earth fire room here, but it was convenient. Luo Lin Haoyang won 2 Tier 3 demonic beasts, 2 Tier 4 armadillo remnants, and a lot of Tier 2 demonic beasts. Lin Haoyang came here for another purpose. He used the low-level demonic beasts materials in his hand. Rogue cultivators in Pingyang City brought back a large amount of demonic beasts materials. The price of demonic beasts materials will definitely plummet. Lin Haoyang sells them here. Earn more spirit stones. After listening to the man's introduction, Lin Haoyang took out 6 spirit stones and said, "Living for a month first. Ask you something, where can I collect demonic beasts materials?" The man played with the spirit stones in his hand with joy and said, "If you use demonic beasts materials, of course you have to go to Yuananjai. 8%. Chapter 47 Yuananjai. Lin Haoyang wrote down the name, and then led the man to the own room. The room was well furnished and comfortable, especially each room was covered with formation. Even his divine sense is very difficult to get out. All the advantages finally let Lin Haoyang feel that the 5 spirit stones are not in vain. "Fellow Taoist, do you need?" The man smiled. Lin Haoyang waved his hand to interrupt him, saying, I'm going to have a good life and self-cultivation recently, don't bother me. Seeing that Lin Haoyang was not interested, the man stopped talking and left the room immediately. Seeing the man gone, Lin Haoyang fell on the bed. For more than half a year, Lin Haoyang's spirit has been highly tense, and his soul has been very exhausted. At this moment, Lin Haoyang doesn't want to cultivate, but just wants to sleep well. 3 days later, Lin Haoyang finally woke up, stretched his waist, and then sat up. At this moment, Lin Haoyang felt refreshed. After sweeping away his fatigue, he recovered to his best condition. After patted the storage bag, Lin Haoyang felt that it was time to see Yuan Enjai. When he went out and came downstairs, the man who greeted Lin Haoyang smiled at Lin Haoyang. Fellow Taoist, are you going to Yuananjai? I want to visit Yuananjai, but I don't know where is Yuananjai. Lin Haoyang asked. Tai Yin goes east, you can see it after 200 meters. The man said. Lin Haoyang hugged his hands, thanked the man, and then rushed to Yuananjai. After walking 200 meters, a bustling building appeared in front of Lin Haoyang. It was the Yuananjai that Lin Haoyang was looking for. Seeing Yuananjai's carved jade column, Lin Haoyang sighed and stepped into Yuananjai. The interior of Yuananjai is made of white jade, which is quite buffin. Lin Haoyang feels like he came from a remote place. The construction of such a palace in this savage place makes Lin Haoyang doubt and bewildered. Could it be that behind this Yuananjai? Is it also a 6th rank force? Just when Lin Haoyang was guessing wildly, a woman in a palace costume walked over, with a dignified and elegant appearance, and said to Lin Haoyang. This fellow Taoist is afraid that it is the first time to come from Enjai. Lin Haoyang nodded without hiding, saying, in the next wandering rogue cultivators, I killed some demonic beasts in the wild a few days ago and want to exchange them for spirit stones. The girl in the palace costume was not surprised. She had obviously seen people like Lin Haoyang, but because Lin Haoyang was a foundation-building cultivator, she was a bit polite. In that case, fellow Taoist handed over the materials to me to check the price, said the palace girl. Lin Haoyang did not hesitate, and handed the storage bag containing the 2nd-order demonic beasts material to the palace-dressed woman. The palace-dressed woman opened it carelessly, looking like a commonplace. However, when she saw the quantity of the 2nd-order demonic beasts in the storage bag, the woman in the palace costume was shocked. There were at least dozens of 2nd-order demonic beasts inside, and only the best part of the materials were taken. The total value add up to fear not less than 3,000 spirit stones. The palace-dressed woman opened her mouth blankly, looked at Lin Haoyang in surprise, and said, You captured all these? Lin Haoyang nodded and asked suspiciously. Could it be that Yuananjai can't eat it? After Lin Haoyang said so, the palace-dressed woman came back to her senses, jokingly. Fellow Taoist will not be alone to kill a brood of tier 4 demonic beasts, right? However, Lin Haoyang just smiled. Chongshan Tower's actions can't be revealed. This is a soul oath. Seeing that Lin Haoyang didn't speak, the palace-dressed woman had to give up and said, I need to classify and evaluate these things. Wait a moment, we have a lot of good things from Yuananjai. You can see if you have anything you like. Lin Haoyang nodded, and motioned to the palace-dressed woman to go to work on her own, while he started strolling in Yuananjai. At first glance, Lin Haoyang was surprised. This Yuananjai really has a lot of good things. This time I went to Snake Mist Valley and the 2 charms have not been used. Magical item can also be refined by himself. It is not anxious, but the various medicine pills on his body are basic. Exhausted, it is necessary to replenish some. Thinking of the role of medicine pill at a critical moment, Lin Haoyang was cruel, and even spent 1,000 spirit stones to buy 3 bottles of tier 3 middle grade medicine pill, 1 bottle for healing, 1 bottle for spiritual power recovery, and 1 bottle for detoxification. With these medicine pills, it is easier to deal with dangers in the future. After Lin Haoyang selected medicine pill, the palace-dressed woman also cleaned up the 2nd-order materials. This time, the palace-dressed woman was more polite, saying, After cleaning up, there are a total of 39 tier 2 demonic beasts materials, but some materials are missing. Replaced with spirit stones worth about 3,120 pieces. I am the master and round up the fellow Taoist, which is 3,000 in total. 200 spirit stones. If you remove 3 bottles of medicine pill, you should pay a fellow Taoist 2,200 spirit stones. Is it good for fellow Taoist? Lin Haoyang nodded. He probably estimated that the pile of Tier 2 materials should be worth about 3,000 spirit stones, and there could be 3,200 spirit stones. Lin Haoyang felt that the price was very fair. Seeing Lin Haoyang's promise, the palace woman returned Lin Haoyang's storage bag containing demonic beasts to Lin Haoyang. Opening the storage bag, seeing that there were 22 medium-grade spirit stones in it, Lin Haoyang smiled, thinking that Yuananjai is very good at doing business. I am afraid that the whole Tianhefeng city will have the strongest family except for one door. So, Lin Haoyang said. This fellow Taoist, I want to find out a message with you next. The woman in the palace costume smiled and said, Fellow Taoist, please tell me, if there is a very hidden message, fellow Taoist may have to spend money. Lin Haoyang didn't care, so he asked where he could find demonic beasts who were good at leg strength. The girl in the palace dress frowned. For demonic beasts who are good at foot strength, sect and aristocratic families usually raise them in captivity, and then slowly cultivate and domesticate them to transport supplies. After all, the storage bag space is limited, and flying spirit boats are very rare. These demonic beasts. Therefore, there are very few demonic beasts on the market that are good at feet. Seeing the face of the palace-dressed woman, Lin Haoyang knew that there was little hope, and when he was about to leave to find another way, the palace-dressed woman whispered. Fellow Taoist, don't worry. Lin Haoyang understood that immediately put down a spirit power shield to prevent others from eavesdropping, the palace-dressed woman said. Most of our supplies in Yuanenjai are also transported by demonic beasts. We use a second-tier medium-grade camel mountain beast, which can carry about 10,000 caddies at a time, and the camel mountain beast has thick armor for defense. Can't beat the second-tier middle-grade magical item. Speaking of this, the palace-dressed woman looked around and made sure that no one had noticed before she continued. We have a total of 6 camel mountain beasts in Yuanenjai in Tianhefeng City. Recently, 2 female beasts became pregnant. About a year later, they will give birth to cubs. There will be 3 to 4 camel mountain beast cubs when they fall. Hearing this, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. He didn't expect that this unintentional question would actually meet him. Although it was only a cub, it could be used to transport supplies after 3 or 5 years of cultivation, and this camel mountain beast was indeed capable. Yes, Lin Haoyang liked it very much and said, I don't know how to sell this cub. The palace-dressed woman's heart moved. It seems that Lin Haoyang does have the intention to buy, and said, 1,000 spirit stones, I am only responsible for bringing the cubs out. How to get out of the city depends on your own skills. Lin Haoyang's complexion condensed, knowing from these words that the cubs of the camel mountain beast were not openly traded, but secretly traded with the palace-dressed woman. However, Lin Haoyang doesn't care, he only needs to get the cubs of camel mountain beast. So the two agreed that a year later, the Tuoshan beast gave birth to cubs, and the two secretly traded, paying the money in one hand and delivering the goods in the other. 8%. Chapter 48. Heart-biting poison GU. Since I have to stay in Tianhefeng City for another year and the rent of Tai Inn is so expensive, Lin Haoyang wants to take advantage of this time and refine a few materials into magical item as soon as possible. 2 Tier 3 demonic beasts were separated by Lin Haoyang into 5 pieces of Tier 3 materials, 3 pieces of Tier 3 inferior products, and 2 pieces of 3 middle grades. Lin Haoyang paid another 2 months' rent for himself while refining the magical item, and he also had to rent 1 spirit stones for a day in the earth fire room. Lin Haoyang paid another 100 spirit stones, which made him feel at ease in the earth fire room. Refining the third order magical item. During Lin Haoyang's refining magical item, a strange incident occurred in Tianhefeng City. Every 3 days, a person died in a mortal cave, turned into a corpse. Originally, there were only 1 or 2 cases of this situation, and the cultivator in Tianhefeng didn't care at all, but every 3 days, 1 cultivator died of this condition. 2 months after Lin Haoyang's closed-door training, the foundation building cultivator appeared in such a tragic situation for the first time. The foundation building cultivator is not weak enough, and it can be killed in a mortal cave, indicating that the murderer hiding behind is far superior. Foundation building. It is possible, the strength has reached the golden core level. What do you eat? A demon cultivator dared to spread wildly on our turf with such a big fanfare. If this matter spreads out, what kind of face do we have? Golden core cultivator in Tianhefeng City Tang Yuan Dao. The 10 foundation building cultivators present were very grateful. Today, they discovered that the first foundation building cultivator turned into a corpse, and they didn't even find any clues. Among the 10 foundation building cultivators, the highest in the cultivation base is a female cultivator on the 7th floor of the foundation building, Mu Nian Si. This girl is a disciple of Tang Yiwen. The relationship between the two is unusual. Seeing Tang Yiwen's furious, Mu Nian Si said, Master, now that Demon Cultivator must still be hiding in Tianhefeng City, our immediate delay should be to open the big array immediately and gather all the cultivators, to get the Demon Cultivator out. Tang Yiwen's complexion was frosty, and after thinking about it, he said, Well, just as Yinian Si said, if there is anyone who does not follow, I will personally kill them. Yes. Immediately, the Tianhefeng City array was opened, all personnel were not allowed to go out, and all closed-door training cultivators were also forcibly interrupted, and Lin Haoyang was of course no exception. At the moment, the 5th magical item is being refined, but because too much cultivator interrupted this magical item was also scrapped. For the 5 magical items, Lin Haoyang only trained 3. The refining was interrupted, and Lin Haoyang was suffocated with anger. He was looking for a cultivator theory, but when he heard the rumors of a demon cultivator in Tianhefeng City, Lin Haoyang was shocked for a while. He did not expect to be in the area of Taiyamen. Inside, there will be a demon cultivator, and even the foundation building cultivator died silently. There was a trace of panic in Lin Haoyang's heart. He didn't expect that he would encounter such a thing when he went out. Now there are too many doors to block Tianhefeng City, no one can get out, no one can escape. Lin Haoyang's heart moved, thinking of Yuananjai's palace-dressed woman. He guessed that the forces behind Yuananjai must be very strong, and she must know something internal about this matter. Just when Lin Haoyang wanted to find the girl in the palace, Tang Yiwen sent an order to order all foundation building cultivators in Tianhefeng to go to the Taiyamen station to find the trace of the demon cultivator. Lin Haoyang was forced to go to Tai. The door station rushed. There are 23 foundation building cultivators in Tianhefeng City. Except for the 10 foundation building cultivators from Taiyamen's family, there are 13 other foundation buildings. This time, one person died in the hands of demon cultivator, leaving only 12 people. Lin Haoyang is one of the remaining 12 people. When Lin Haoyang came to the Tai Gate station, all the foundation building cultivators in the Great Hall had arrived at this moment. Everyone was anxious, afraid that they would become the target of the next demon cultivator. Soon after Lin Haoyang entered, Tang Yiwen walked into the Great Hall. Tang Yiwen's expression was gloomy, apparently caused by the demon cultivator incident. As soon as Tang Yiwen appeared, everyone at the scene quieted down. After a glance at the crowd, Tang Yiwen said in a low tone, I invite you all to come today. Everyone knows what is going on. In the past month or so, 9 late-stage cultivators and 1 foundation building cultivator have died by the hands of demon cultivator. The whole body of blood essence was sucked dry, and the heart was dug out. According to the previous shots of Demon Cultivator, it seems that this demon wants to refine the Heart Eater poison GU in Tianhefeng City, so it kills 1 person every 3 days, according to Heart Eater poison. Gu's refining technique, and then he will kill 2 foundation building cultivators to help them become poisonous GU. Quote. Tang Yiwen's words are like a bolt from the blue, exploding in the hearts of the foundation building cultivators. Heart Eater's poisonous. 2 more foundation building cultivators have to be hunted down. Both of these news shocked Lin Haoyang. Because after the Heart Eater poison GU is trained, as long as it is cast into the human body, unless it is death, even the Golden Core Cultivator cannot resist the control of the Demon Cultivator, and has since become a puppet of the Demon Cultivator. That's why Tang Yiwen was so angry. He knew that Demon Cultivator was coming at him and wanted to control him with the Heart Eater poison GU, so that he would fall into Devil Dao. Tang Yiwen has notified the ancestor of nascent soul of Taiyamen that Demon Cultivator has appeared in Tianhefeng City. Tianhefeng City is some distance away from the mountain gate of Tai Gate. Even if nascent soul cultivator goes all out, it will take about 8 days, but Tianhefeng City can hold on for 6 days at most, otherwise the demon cultivator may be able to do it. Dawn Elder, now that demon cultivator has appeared, is there any way to deal with it? If he has been lurking among us, we can't do anything with him, said a foundation building rogue cultivators. As soon as this remark came out, everyone began to talk about the righteous cultivator's responsibility to eliminate demons, otherwise it will be a catastrophe after demon cultivator develops and grows. Well, guys, my master has gathered everyone here, just to tell everyone that the master has a method to detect demon cultivator. But this method can only be used in a small part, so you must start the test with you foundation building cultivator, so as not to be mixed with demon cultivator. Mu Nian said kindly. Lin Haoyang frowned. He didn't believe much about Mu Nianxi's words. If there is any cultivation technique that can make Demon Cultivator appear, there won't be so much nonsense at all. It is very likely that Tang Yiwen is deliberately attacking the snake and causing Demon Cultivator to mess around. Although I was reluctant to work on foundation building cultivator, due to the pressure of Tang Yiwen, all of them had to accept the test of Tang Yiwen obediently. Soon, Tang Yiwen hand seals with both hands, and a series of mysterious golden runes appear in the air, forming a series of inscriptions on top of each person's head. Lin Haoyang looked up at the inscription, and felt a divine sense force gushing out of the inscription. Lin Haoyang's complexion changed, and a trace of anger flashed in his heart. What kind of method is this to detect Demon Cultivator? This is to forcibly plant a mark. If such a mark is planted, Lin Haoyang's every move in Tianhefeng City will no longer be secret, all under the control of Tang Yiwen. But now that the situation is compelling, Lin Haoyang can only grit his teeth and let Tang Yiwen take control. Otherwise, on the cusp of this Demon Cultivator, Tang Yiwen can completely kill him in order to emulate him. Soon, in addition to Lin Haoyang, some cultivators felt that there was something wrong with this inscription. It's better not to struggle, you guys, or else I got hurt by mistake, and I can't blame the old man. Seeing everyone resisting, Tang Yiwen said leisurely. When everyone was talking about it, the golden rune took shape and fell on everyone's shoulders under the control of Tang Yiwen. After the golden rune fell, Lin Haoyang felt that one eye was staring at him all the time, making him extremely uncomfortable. Lin Haoyang glanced at Tang Yiwen and said, I hope Dawn Elder can hold the Demon Cultivator within 6 days, otherwise I will fight even if I fight for my life. After that, Lin Haoyang went away, completely ignoring Tang Yiwen's pale face, but the other cultivators didn't give Tang Yiwen a good face, and left Taiyamen Station one after another. Outside the door, foundation building rogue cultivators Yang Tianyu held Lin Haoyang and said, Fellow Taoist, that Tang Yiwen deceives people too much. We rogue cultivators must also unite, otherwise we can only be his pawns for Tang Yiwen. I have a secret meeting with several fellow Taoists tonight. Are fellow Taoists interested? Lin Haoyang thought about it again and again, and felt that this secret would have to participate, so he nodded and agreed. 8%. Chapter 49 Secret Meeting. The secret meeting was scheduled at night. Lin Haoyang left Taiyamen Station and went straight to Yuananjai. Fortunately, nothing happened to Yuananjai. Yuananjai has 2 foundation building cultivators. One of them is foundation building. The late-stage cultivation base was also very conspicuous in Tianhefeng City, and was not targeted by Demon Cultivator. Lin Haoyang felt relieved when he saw the palace woman. The palace woman took Lin Haoyang to the side room and said, Recently, Demon Cultivator has been upset in Tianhefeng City, and everyone is panicking. There is not a single guest in these Tianyuan Enjai. Lin Haoyang nodded and said, I also just learned about this. I have been in closed-door training before. This time, I just wanted to ask Yuan Enjai what news did I know. The woman in the palace dress looks cloudy and uncertain. She is considered the number 3 person in Yuan Enjai. Apart from the 2 foundation building cultivators who sit here, she has the most power. But in this situation, the 2 foundation building cultivators don't care about her life or death at all. They're businessmen, unlike the family and sect, will always benefit the most, so she has to consider her own future. I know some. Although Yuananjai is only a 5th rank force behind it, Yuananjai's influence is widespread and the information is very well informed. We learned that Demon Cultivator may have a big move on the wild border, and it is very likely that this time it's about the wasteland season, said the palace girl. Lin Haoyang was shocked. He didn't expect Demon Cultivator to try so big and want to intervene in the wasteland reclamation season. If there are traces of Demon Cultivator in one gate, then there may not be none in Qingyunzong. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang became worried again. Lin Xuanlin was sitting in the Xianjing mine, where it was very likely that Demon Cultivator focused his attack. Do they know the specific situation this time? Lin Haoyang said. The woman in palace costume shook her head and smiled bitterly. If I know the specific plan, will I still come to Tianhefeng City to join the net? After speaking, the girl in the palace costume hesitated. Lin Haoyang saw that something was wrong and asked, Anything else? The palace-dressed woman hesitated again and said, This time Demon Cultivator is coming so fiercely, I am afraid that Dawn Elder is not sure to press it down, and Nascent Soul Elder, who is too close to the door, will not be able to arrive in time. We can only think of other ways. Our 2 foundation building cultivators in Yuanenjai are definitely unreliable. I want you to take me out of Tianhefeng City. As a bargain, I can use my energy in Yuananjai to help you get 5 camel mountain beasts. Quote. The expression in Lin Haoyang's eyes changed. He didn't expect that the palace girl would mention such a deal. It seems that Demon Cultivator must have come prepared this time, and he has to make other plans. Good. If I can escape, I will take you with me. Seeing Lin Haoyang's promise, the palace-dressed woman was overjoyed, and felt a little embarrassed to approach Lin Haoyang, so she smiled. I've seen it twice, but it's not your name. The little girl is named Chu and Mengyao. Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang briefly chatted with Chu Mengyao and guessed in his heart, and left, because Lin Haoyang was watched by Tang Yiwen and could not stay here for too long. The sun went down, and Lin Haoyang rushed to the address Yang Tianyu said. Because Tang Yiwen made it clear to monitor everyone, he chose a random place. It was in a small building. When Lin Haoyang arrived, the 12 were too far away. 9 people came to the cultivator, plus him, there are exactly 10 people. Seeing Lin Haoyang's arrival, Yang Tianyu asked Lin Haoyang to sit down casually, and then said, Dear fellow Taoist, I think everyone resents that Tang Yiwen Lauer too. He monitors the crowd just to use our life to lead the demon cultivator. As long as the demon cultivator touches us, he will be able to detect it for the first time. But, who are you who are willing to make this bait? Quote. Everyone was silent for a while. Yang Tianyu's analysis was right. Tang Yiwen really wanted to start off the snake, but his bait was not only Lin Haoyang rogue cultivators, but even Mu Nianxi's foundation building cultivators were her bait, and they were all planted by him. Under the golden rune. Then what should we do now? In Tianhefeng City, we must be no match for Tang Yiwen. Someone asked. Yang Tianyu smiled and said, This is the purpose I ask you to come here. If we want to live, we have to escape from Tianhefeng City. Since Tang Yiwen opened the mountain protection formation to prevent us from going out, then we will have a fish dead net. I have a magical item here, which can isolate the divine sense detection and activate the magical item. The imprint Tang Yiwen left on me can also be blocked. Quote. Lin Haoyang's heart moved. He didn't expect that Yang Tianyu still had this magical item in his hands, so he didn't have to worry about Tang Yiwen. When he escaped from Tianhefeng City, he would be safe. I agree. After that, all 10 people at the scene agreed to give it a try. After some planning, everyone decided that 2 days later, before the demon cultivator killed another person, they would take advantage of the chaos to destroy the mountain protection formation and escape from Tianhefeng City, and everyone set up their souls. Oath. No one can reveal today's plan. After the secret meeting, Lin Haoyang returned to the Tai Inn. Although Tang Yiwen must know about their secret meeting this time, since their skin has been torn, they are not afraid of being hated by Tang Yiwen. Tai Yiman was stationed. Tang Yiwen slapped the table beside him with a palm. He knew the secret meeting of Lin Haoyang and others from the beginning, but he could not move. To bear, wait for Demon Cultivator 3 days later and have to take action. What everyone did not expect, just 2 days later, another foundation building cultivator was killed. When Tang Yiwen hurried away, the murderer had already escaped. It took only 10 breaths for Tang Yiwen to arrive here. The murderer disappeared without a trace. Although the killed cultivator was only on the 2nd floor of the foundation building, it could only be done in 10 breaths. Killing and evacuation, its strength is definitely not under Golden Core. If the sneak attack and the soul-fixing technique were used, Lin Haoyang was sure to resolve the battle within 10 breaths, because Lin Haoyang would not give him the opportunity to sacrifice the magical item, and the person killed this time also failed to sacrifice the magical item. Lin Haoyang guessed that either the killer is extremely powerful, or the killer has the method of divine and soul attack. Moreover, Lin Haoyang also speculated that Demon Cultivator wanted to separate the people from Tang Yiwen this time. Obviously, his goal was achieved. How can I say that everyone's grievances against Tang Yiwen are getting bigger and bigger? Even if he planted a mark on everyone, he could not save this person's life. Suddenly, people in Tianhefeng City were faltering, and some even prepared to forcefully break into the mountain protection formation. Tang Yiwen killed 20 or 30 people in succession before suppressing the situation again. If Tang Yiwen could not hold Tianhefeng City, and abandoned the low-level cultivator before meeting the demon cultivator and fled, then his path in Taiyamen will basically end, and he will be severely punished by sect. The reason why everyone is not allowed to leave after opening the big array. The next day, Tang Yiwen once again summoned all foundation building cultivators. Although everyone was unwilling, they had to come to Taiyamen Station again. When Lin Haoyang saw Tang Yiwen again, he found that Tang Yiwen's face was a little haggard. Obviously, what happened last night put him under great pressure. Everyone, demon cultivator is rampant, but today he must use the blood and heart of the foundation building cultivator to feed the poison, otherwise all his efforts will be in vain. Please stay here today, so that the strategy of the demon cultivator will not be broken. Tang Yiwen said. Lin Haoyang frowned slightly after hearing this. Although this is effective, there are more than 20 golden core foundation building cultivators together. Without 3 to 4 golden core cultivators, it is difficult to get benefits from everyone. There is a question, Lin Haoyang asked. Tang Elder, I and the foundation building cultivator are all gathered here. What about demon cultivator taking the opportunity to slaughter the low-level cultivators and mortals in Tianhefeng City? Tang Yiwen seemed to have thought about this issue a long time ago, and said without hesitation. At that time, Nin Kai will be here with you, and I will sit outside by myself. I don't believe that they can shake the sky. 8%. Chapter 50 Betrayal. As a result, Lin Haoyang and others have nothing to say, knowing that this is Tang Yiwen's last fight, and today they will fight Demon Cultivator to the death. Lin Haoyang looked at the people in the Great Hall and felt a little strange for a while. I wonder if there is only one Demon Cultivator. There are still many people hiding in the crowd. As the day passed, Demon Cultivator did not move at all. The night fell quietly, and as time got closer, the pressure in everyone's hearts increased. Even Tang Yiwen narrowed his eyes, wondering where Demon Cultivator would do it. Boom, boom. There were successive explosions. Looking from the Great Hall, there were 4 or 5 thick smoke rising from all corners of Tianhefeng City, accompanied by a raging fire. Looking at the appearance, it can be distinguished that it was caused by the explosion of the flaming pearl. After the explosion, various screams came from all sides. Lin Haoyang knew that this was the demon cultivator hidden in the low-level cultivator. The direction in which the thick fog was rising happened to be rising from the direction of Yuanenjai. For a while, Lin Haoyang couldn't help but worry about Chu Mengyao. Seeing the chaos in Tianhefeng City, Tang Yiwen couldn't sit still anymore, turned into an aura, and flew in the direction where the explosion sounded. Seeing Tang Yiwen's departure, everyone was relieved. With Tang Yiwen sitting in town, the demon cultivator outside couldn't make any waves. Soon after Tang Yiwen left, Yang Tianyu, who had been sitting by the side, took out a disc in his hand and slammed it into the sky. The disc lifted into the sky, forming a sky curtain to hold everyone in. At the same time, 5 or 6 people, including Yang Tianyu and Mu Nianxi, suddenly violently attacked the foundation building cultivator around them. Because of surprise and everyone was unprepared, 5 or 6 people succeeded. In an instant, 4 foundation building cultivators died. The other 2 foundation building cultivators reacted quickly and escaped, but they were also seriously injured. Among them, Yuanenjai's foundation building late-stage cultivator was the closest to Mu Nianxi, and he was attacked and killed by Mu Nianxi. Hit. Seeing this change, Lin Haoyang's complexion changed drastically, and he immediately sacrificed the Senkai sword and the fire cloud cover. Due to this change, Lin Haoyang no longer believed in anyone here. Unexpectedly, Demon Cultivator had penetrated so deeply, even the disciple of Tang Yiwen Mu Nianxi has taken refuge in Demon Cultivator. Originally, the 20 cultivators in the Great Hall, because of the raid of the 6 demon cultivators, only 9 were still able to fight at the moment. But these 9 people are still susceptible to each other, and they can't be combined into one combat force at all. Moreover, in order to reduce the pressure of this group of demon cultivators, they all picked the cultivation base during the raid with higher strength. For a while, Lin Haoyang and others fell into a very passive position. While Lin Haoyang and others were still hesitating, a mocking smile appeared on the corner of Mu Nianxi's mouth. He saw 4 blood-red spirit power suddenly pouring out of her back, turning into 4 tentacles and pouring towards the 4 foundation building cultivator corpses. It seems, is to absorb the blood essence from these people. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang's expression changed and said, "Dear fellow Taoist, don't hurry up. Wait until she absorbs these blood essences. I am afraid that Heart Eater Poison Gu can be trained in advance, and it will be terrible then." As he said, the three-handed sword in his hand chopped off the bloody tentacles, but as soon as Lin Haoyang moved, Yang Tianyu sacrificed a spirit banner to block Mu Nianxi, and Yang Tianyu no longer had the slightest humanity on his face, full of madness. "The color," said Lin, "fellow Taoist, why bother to be so anxious? Now that the overall situation of Tianhefeng City is set, Tang Yiwen can't make any storms. My fixed astrolabe is a tier 4 spiritual object and can block all exploration, so don't think about it. So he can come to help. Lin Haoyang's heart jumped. He didn't expect Yang Tianyu to have tier 4 magical item in his hands. Even if they did their best, it would be difficult to break the star chart in a short time. Other people who knew Yang Tianyu were very angry. Just 2 days ago, this person invited everyone to participate in a secret meeting to discuss against Tang Yiwen. I didn't expect this person to be a demon cultivator. I was really blind. For a while, various magical items asked Yang Tianyu called. Seeing everyone concentrating on himself, Yang Tianyu's complexion also rose with dignity, and the other 4 demon cultivators also came to Yang Tianyu one after another, each offering a soul flag, and for a while, a large black mist emerged from the flag, and various grievances in the black mist the soul struggled and screamed, and the 5 people worked together, and through these resentful souls, they stopped everyone's attack. Lin Haoyang frowned and saw that Mu Nianxi behind Yang Tianyu had already sucked out most of the blood essence of the 4, and even the heart was taken out by him. A little finger-sized, blood-red bug lay on her shoulder, devouring a heart frantically. Lin Haoyang secretly said a bad cry in his heart. Yang Tianyu was just delaying the formation of the heart-eating poison Gu. I'm afraid this heart-eating poison Gu didn't take 3 days at all. Once it absorbed the 4 blood essences, it might become a real heart essence. Poisonous Gu. Seeing that the situation was not good, Lin Haoyang wiped on the storage bag, and a Tiangong God Thunder talisman appeared in his hand, and he shot at Mu Nianxi without hesitation. The thunder god of Tiangong turned into a flash of light and flew over Mu Nianxi's head. Mu Nianxi, who felt threatened, raised a hint of sarcasm at the corner of his mouth. Attacking, a piece of Tiangong divine thunder didn't even play a role. With the improvement of Lin Haoyang's cultivation base, the enemies he encountered became more powerful. The 3rd-tier mid-rank Tiangong God Thunder Talisman was no longer enough. Thinking of the 4th-tier talisman Lin Qianlong sent him to defend himself, Lin Haoyang was a little bit reluctant. At this moment, other people are frantically attacking the grievances formed by Yang Tianyu's 5 people, but the effect is not great, because the higher cultivation base among the crowd has been solved in advance. At this moment, the situation is already very unfavorable. I am afraid that if there is another stick of incense, Mu Nianxi will be able to complete the heart-biting poison Gu, and it will be their death time. After thinking about it for a moment, Lin Haoyang said to the others. Everyone, I have a way to interfere with Yang Tianyu's control of the fixed astrolabe. After you wait for you to attack the fixed astrolabe with all your strength, you will be able to break through the sky and escape. At this moment, there was no other way. Everyone had to believe Lin Haoyang's words. Lin Haoyang's soul moved, and the soul-fixing technique attacked Yang Tianyu. Yang Tianyu was busy guarding everyone, and he did not expect Lin Haoyang to have such secret techniques. Although Yang Tianyu's cultivation base has reached the 6th floor of the foundation building, Lin Haoyang originally had a very deep divine sense. In addition, Yang Tianyu's energy was mainly focused on stimulating the centering disc and defending everyone. He did not notice for a while, and was directly hit by the soul fixation technique. Fall into a state of confusion. Lin Haoyang was overjoyed, but he didn't expect the effect to be so good, so he immediately united with the crowd and fought in the air. Although the centering plate is a tier 4 magical item, Yang Tianyu can only exert its 80% strength. In addition, Yang Tianyu is in a state of confusion at the moment, and the centering disc is uncontrolled for a while. Under the joint frenzied attack, the sky curtain formed by the centering disc crashed, broken. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed, too late to control the others, and flew out. When other people saw this, they also fled from the centering disc. There were only 6 demon cultivators left in the centering disc. Mu Nianxi saw everyone blasting through the sky and fleeing. His face was full of anger, but he did not let go of the chase. But a bloody spirit power hit Yang Tianyu's forehead, finally awakening him. The violent soul pain caused Yang Tianyu to sweat coldly. If Lin Haoyang hadn't rushed to escape just now, I was afraid that he had been buried in Lin Haoyang's hands. Yang Tianyu swallowed a medicine pill, his eyes turned red, and he moved the star chart again. The sky was broken. Tang Yiwen must have found something wrong, and they will come here soon. What they have to do now is to block Tang Yiwen and let Mu Nianxi become a heart-eating poison. After Yang Tianyu regained control of the centering disc, a figure flew at a rapid speed. It was Tang Yiwen who was aware of something wrong. At this moment, he still had 3 heads in his hand. It was the demon cultivator who was making chaos outside, and he was killed by him. 9%. Chapter 51 Forced Retreat. When Tang Yiwen came to the sky above the fixed astrolabe had reopened its defenses. This time it was Yang Tianyu 5 who urged the fixed astrolabe. Even if Tang Yiwen wanted to break through, it would take a lot of effort. Seeing Mu Nianxi in the fixed star chart concentrating on feeding the heart-biting poison Ji, Tang Yiwen clenched his fists. He did not expect that the disciple he had trained for many years was Demon Cultivator, and he was always thinking about murdering his master's life. Mu Nianxi, do you think this centering disc can really stop me? When I break the curtain, I will have your marrow and muscles peeled, and the soul will be refined and tortured in the soul lamp. Tang Yiwen's expression is grim. Road. Hey, master, you old man, don't worry, my heart-eater poison Ji will be able to evolve completely, and then you will be obedient. Faced with Tang Yiwen's bad words, Mu Nianxi didn't care. Falling into the cultivator of Devil Dao, the emotions and desires will be distorted, and they cannot be treated with common sense at all. Seeing Mu Nianxi so stubborn, Tang Yiwen suddenly showed an euphorbia in his hand, about 3 feet long, and the whole body was pitch black. Seeing this euphorbia, Yang Tianyu's complexion changed, but Tang Yiwen did not expect Tang Yiwen to act with all his strength. Tang Yiwen's euphorbia is also a 4th-order lower-grade magical item, weighing 17,000 jins, and belongs to a violent magical item. It suffers a bit from fighting, but it is best at breaking defenses. Tang Yiwen waved the euphorbia and smashed it straight to the star chart. Boom! There was a loud noise, and the sky curtain formed by the fixed astrolabe was violently turbulent. Yang Tianyu and other 5 demon cultivators spit out a mouthful of blood, apparently shocked internally by the huge force. Hurry up. We're afraid we won't last a few times. Yang Tianyu said kindly to Mu Nian. Useless waste. Mu Nianxi licked his lips and mocked. Seeing Mu Nianxi scolding herself, Yang Tianyu was suddenly upset and said, Come on if you have the ability. Mu Nianxi stared at the 5 people in front of him, a red light flashed in his eyes, 5 blood-red spiritual chi gushing out from behind him, and suddenly inserted into the back of Yang Tianyu's 6 people, taking advantage of it, directly penetrated 5 human hearts. Yang Tianyu's eyes were blood-red, and he looked down at the red tentacles that pierced his chest. His face was full of resentment. Just about to say something, Mu Nianxi withdrew his tentacles, 5 bloody hearts floating beside Mu Nianxi. Lin Haoyang, who was on the sidelines, saw this scene and said in his heart that he was not good. This Mu Nianxi was too evil. Lin Haoyang didn't dare to stay anymore, and ran straight to Yuanenjai. After catching up with Chu Mengyao, he was about to leave Tianhefeng City. Other foundation building cultivators originally saw Tang Yiwen coming here, thinking that the overall situation has been decided, but now everyone is a little skeptical that Tang Yiwen may not be an opponent. Tang Yiwen saw that Mu Nianxi was so vicious that he even killed his own people, and he had a hint of retreat in his heart, but he couldn't retreat. With a hatred in his heart, he raised the euphorbia in his hand again and smashed it toward the fixed star plate. Boom! This time there was no Yang Tianyu 5 supporting the fixed astrolabe, and the sky curtain collapsed again under this violent force, because no one was urging, the fixed astrolabe also fell from the sky. Seeing this, Tang Yiwen's heart moved. He was very pleased with the defensive power of the fixed astrolabe. With the fixed astrolabe, his strength would surely rise to the next level. He stretched out his hand to grab the astrolabe and sucked it into his hand. Just when Tang Yiwen grasped the astrolabe, a tingling pain came from Tang Yiwen's hands. Tang Yiwen secretly said a bad cry in his heart. This astrolabe was deceitful, and he hurriedly threw the astrolabe out. After another look, there was a little finger-length and wide wound on the palm of his hand. The wound was purple and black, which was constantly corroding Tang Yiwen's flesh and blood. Tang Yiwen's spirit power in his body was able to resist this corrosive force. If Lin Haoyang were here, he would find that this poison was the same as that of Li Maolin when he died. Ha ha ha, master, if you are not so greedy, I am really not your opponent. But now, just be my puppet. Tang Yiwen frowned slightly, and realized that his spirit power was slowly dissolving. For a moment, Tang Yiwen was panicked. What poison was so terrifying? At this moment, Mu Nianxi controlled dozens of blood-colored tentacles to wrap him around Tang Yiwen. Tang Yiwen wanted to struggle, but his whole spirit power seemed to be trapped in a quagmire, too late to react, so he was wrapped in dozens of blood-colored tentacles. Seeing this, Mu Nianxi swallowed another 5 hearts on his shoulders and crawled towards Tang Yiwen along the blood-colored tentacles. Suddenly, a sword ray cut out from the side and went straight to the heart-devouring poison. Nianxi's expression changed drastically, and he hurriedly urged his tentacles to wrap the heart-devouring poison Gu, and a sword ray flashed 2 more after flashing. Even if the 3 flying swords cut dozens of tentacles one after another, they failed to injure the heart-devouring poison Gu inside. Under the protection of these tentacles, he crawled towards Tang Yiwen again. Lin Haoyang saw that the situation was not good, and got out of the storage bag. Take out the 4th order magic talisman and hold it in his hand. Let go of Tang Elder, or you have to bury it. Lin Haoyang said harshly. It turned out that Lin Haoyang had gone and returned. He still had a whole card in his hand. He couldn't just leave in a hurry. Otherwise, the cultivator mortal in Tianhefeng City would not be able to escape from the demon cultivator. After quietly returning, he secretly looked for opportunities on the side and waited for Mu Nian. Outrageously shot when benevolent. Seeing that Lin Haoyang actually took out the tier 4 middle grade magic talisman, a trace of fear flashed in his heart. Although she still had some trump cards, under the tier 4 middle grade magic talisman, I am afraid that she could only be reborn, but the plan is about to be completed at this moment. She can control Tang Yiwen immediately, she is really a little bit reluctant. Okay, go and die. Lin Haoyang was about to sacrifice the magic talisman. Mu Nianxi brows fiercely, feeling that it is still important to save his life, quickly withdrew dozens of blood-colored tentacles, and then put the heart-biting poison Gu on his shoulders. Just a little bit, the heart-biting poisonous Gu can get into Tang Yiwen's heart, and she can turn Tang Yiwen into her puppet, but she didn't expect to kill Lin Haoyang halfway through, destroying her good deeds twice. If it were not for Lin Haoyang to use the soul concentration technique to break the sky, she would be sure to kill Lin Haoyang and others in the sky, and she would not have to kill Yang Tianyu and the others. For a while, her hatred of Lin Haoyang reached its peak, but she did not dare to stay longer. Immediately cast the blood shield and fled to the formation. Previously, the place where the flame explosion orb exploded was the place where the formation was controlled. At this moment, the mountain protection formation was illusory, and it could not stop Mu Nianxi at all. I saw dozens of blood-colored tentacles rushing into the formation, the 4th order formation. After shaking, a gap was smashed, and Mu Nianxi escaped from the gap. Seeing Mu Nianxi escape from Tianhefeng City, Lin Haoyang secretly breathed a sigh of relief and hurriedly put the 4th level magic talisman into his storage bag. Thanks to this 4th tier middle grade magic talisman to scare away Mu Nianxi, otherwise such treasures, Lin Haoyang would be real. Some reluctant. Putting away the magic talisman, Lin Haoyang remembered Tang Yiwen, and when he turned around, he saw that Tang Yiwen had fallen to the ground. On the side was a pitch-black arm he had cut off, most of which had rotted away, and it gave off a foul smell. However, Tang Yiwen's original spirit power cultivation base on the 3rd floor of the Golden Core has already fallen to the edge of the Golden Core. The left arm was slashed and spirit power fell to the edge of the foundation building. Basically, Tang Yiwen's path was ruined, but fortunately he saved the Golden Core cultivation base and his life. However, he was afraid of fighting against the foundation building late stage. The cultivator is almost the same. Thinking of this, Tang Yiwen regretted it all because of his own greed. Tang fellow Taoist, you still need to preside over the overall situation of Tianhefeng City. Although I broke my arm, my life is saved. I believe that too many people will appreciate it. Lin Haoyang said. With Lin Haoyang's persuasion, Tang Yiwen's eyes recovered somewhat, but Lin Haoyang knew that Tang Yiwen had been abandoned, and he was afraid that it would be difficult to achieve success in the future. This time, he was seriously injured and could only wait for his life to die. Lin Haoyang no more persuasion, and flew straight to Yuanenjai. The 2 foundation building cultivators of Yuanenjai, one was seriously injured and had no precious elixir, and it would be difficult to recover after decades. The other had seen Mu Nianxi's powers and had already escaped from Tianhefeng City, regardless of the source. The life and death of Enjai. Right now, I happen to discuss the Tuoshan beast with Chu Mengyao. As the first person of Yuanenjai, she still has great power, although he could not escape with Chu Mengyao. 9%. Chapter 52. Turning back to a butler. When Lin Haoyang rushed to Yuanenjai, the original magnificence of Yuanenjai was gone, and the former beauty was turned into ruins. It can be seen how much damage was caused by the fire explosive pearl at that time. Here, the original 5 late-stage demon cultivator made chaos. After releasing the flame burst beads, they began to kill the ring around them. While trying to create chaos, they wanted to use the blood of the cultivator to sacrifice their own magic weapons. But I didn't expect that even if Yuananjai didn't have a foundation building cultivator, there would still be 4 late-stage cultivators, including Chu Mengyao, a master of the 9th level. In order to guard against attacks, Yuananjai built a building with small formations secretly, so even if the demon cultivator bursts out of the fireball, a batch of resources are preserved. Most of Yuananjai's cultivator can survive, and some of them are amulet. With these charms, Chu Mengyao took the people from Yuananjai and quickly beheaded the 5 demon cultivators near Yuananjai. This is the power of money. Otherwise, if Chu Mengyao and demon cultivator fight in a real way, the outcome will be uncertain. Yuananjai suffered this catastrophe, and the headquarters of Yuananjai will hold them accountable for improper guarding, and a punishment will be unavoidable at that time. Therefore, Chu Mengyao and other Yuananjai people have already divided all the resources left in Yuananjai, preparing to fly separately. When Lin Haoyang came to the ruins of Yuananjai, he saw only Chu Mengyao. Seeing Lin Haoyang, Chu Mengyao was overjoyed, as if he had caught a life-saving straw. She didn't understand the fighting situation on Demon Cultivator, but the 2 foundation building cultivators of Yuananjai did not return. She already had a trace of speculation in her mind, so she asked, "How is the battle?" Lin Haoyang smiled helplessly, and then recounted everything from the beginning. After listening to it, Chu Mengyao was shocked. He didn't expect that this demon cultivator disaster would end with Tang Yiwen, and Mu Nianxi was frightened by Lin Haoyang. In this way, if they report truthfully, they might be rewarded by Yuananjai headquarters. After all, the foundation building cultivator escaped, and they still stick to Yuananjai. However, as they divided the property, there was no turning back. For a time, Chu Mengyao was a little bit lost. Seeing Chu Mengyao's appearance, Lin Haoyang had some guesses in his mind, and an idea sprouted in his heart, saying, "Chu fellow Taoist, since you can no longer return to Yuananjai, how about going back to my home Lin family with me? Although the Lin family is not as powerful as Yuananjai, but the family has just developed and is lacking talents like you, I guarantee that your 1-year worship will not be less than in Yuananjai. In addition, I will find a way to help you get a chance to get foundation building Dan." Quote. Originally listening to Lin Haoyang's suggestion, Chu Mengyao couldn't take any interest. She was in the 5th rank power before, and this time she made a fortune. Even after redeeming the foundation building Dan, you can still have some surplus in your hands. Just find a place to cultivate quietly, even golden core is not impossible. But then I thought about it. After leaving Yuananjai, it is extremely difficult to obtain the foundation building Dan, and I have to worry about Yuananjai's momentary revenge. Instead of living like this, it is better to join the Lin family. First, she will be able to have a stable income in the future. Secondly, the conditions that Lin Haoyang promised to help her get the foundation building Dan really moved her. Thirdly, she is very optimistic about Lin Haoyang. In Tianhefeng City, this situation is basically considered good. He turned the game all by himself. This kind of character will definitely be Bufin in the future. So after some weighing, Chu Mengyao decided to go back to Lin's house with Lin Haoyang, and as a reward, she gave Lin Haoyang the 5 camel mountain beasts that Yuananjai was here. Among them, there are 2 female beasts carrying cubs. The 5 camel mountain beasts alone are no less valuable than a foundation building Dan, which is exactly how Lin Haoyang helped her find the spirit stones of the foundation building Dan. After discussion, Lin Haoyang found 3 cultivators nearby to help him transport the 5 camel mountain beasts back to Pingyang City. Originally, Lin Haoyang retired from Demon Cultivator and Tang Yiwen had to leave Lin Haoyang to accept the reward from Taiyaman, but Lin Haoyang could be considered to have stolen Yuananjai's people and Tuoshan Beast, so he refused to stay if he dared to stay more. Tang Yiwen had no choice but to search for his family's property and present it to Lin Haoyang as a gift of 6,000 spirit stones, and bluntly said that he owed Lin Haoyang a favor. A golden core cultivator is still possible. After bidding farewell to Taiyaman, Lin Haoyang and others rushed to Pingyang City. Tianhefeng City is the closest to Pingyang City. However, Lin Haoyang with the Tuoshan Beast could not use the sword, so he could only walk on land. It took more than 2 months. Lin Haoyang waited for the talents to arrive at Pingyang City. After dismissing the 3 rogue cultivators, Lin Haoyang took Chu Mengyao and the 5 camel mountain beasts to the Lin's shop. Pingyang City has not changed much from the past, and has not been attacked by Demon Cultivator. Because some people exchanged for golden core spirits at Chongshan Tower, a large number of foundation building cultivators were once again attracted. Now there are even more foundation building cultivators in Binduang than ever before. Lin Xuanjing's cultivator at Pingyang City is still Lin Xuanjing. After so many years of cultivation, she has finally condensed the 9 layers this year. She has just broken through and it will take some years to stabilize the cultivation base. But now she is only in her 40s, and she still has the opportunity to hit the foundation building. Seeing Lin Haoyang's return, Lin Xuanlin's eyes flashed with concern, and hurriedly took Lin Haoyang's hand into the store, and announced that it would be closed for repairs today and will not pick up customers. The long-lost worry even made Lin Xuanjing forget Chu Mengyao standing next to Lin Haoyang. Chu Mengyao was an orphan since she was a child and had no relatives. She grew up in Yuannenjai, but Yuannenjai is a business place, and most of the people in it are about interests. She has never tasted family affection for so many years. At this moment, I see Lin Xuanjing's hair. From the heart's concern, I couldn't help but feel that own choice was right. Lin Xuanjing asked for a while, and then let Lin Haoyang go. In order not to worry Lin Xuanjing, Lin Haoyang said a little bit about the difficulties of the trap, but Lin Xuanjing also heard it. Lin Haoyang didn't want to let her own heart, so she had to say. For the enemy of the tribe, let you go deep into the wilderness, but it will hurt you. Lin Haoyang shook his head and said firmly. The elders of the family gave up their lives for our descendants, and in order to earn the cultivation resources, we can't avenge them because they were harmed by others, so what face do I have to return to the Lin family? Seeing that Lin Haoyang has this heart, Lin Xuanjing no longer said that this is the affection of the family. Only by supporting each other in this way can a family go long and gradually develop and grow. When he was free, Lin Haoyang introduced Chu Mengyao to Lin Xuanjing and told him that he would help manage the 2 shops in Pingyang City in the future. Moreover, in the future, the Lin family will have 5 camel mountain beasts. I am afraid that there will be more supplies that can be transported in the future, and Lin Xuanjing really can't manage it. As Chu Mengyao's manager of Yuannenjai, she took care of most of the complicated and trivial matters of Yuannenjai. Of course, it was not a problem to manage the Lin family's industry. Therefore, Lin Haoyang gave Chu Mengyao the annual gift of 200 spirit stones a year, the same as when she was in Yuannenjai. Lin Xuanjing also agreed on this matter. Over the years, she has become more and more powerless to manage the Lin family's store. With Chu Mengyao joining, the Lin family's income will definitely increase greatly. Time passed quickly, and Lin Xuanjia once again brought a caravan from Fengyuanfang City. For these years, he has been busy for the family's business. Up to now, the cultivation base is still on the first floor of the foundation building, and there is no growth. Although Lin Haoyang brought back 5 camel mountain beasts this time, it still could not fundamentally solve the problem of the shortage of Lin's foundation building cultivator. Therefore, Lin Haoyang wanted to redeem the foundation building Dan again to increase the number of high-ranked cultivators in the family. Lin Haoyang now has 6,000 spirit stones donated by Tang Yiwen, 5,000 spirit stones earned by Snake Mist Valley, and 3 third-order magical items. Lin Haoyang sold to Chongshan Tower and earned 4,000 spirit stones. Together, Lin Haoyang is alone. 15,000 spirit stones can be regarded as the rich among the foundation building cultivator. Excluding the 1 foundation building Dan promised to Chu Mengyao, and then find the family to collect it, and then redeem 1, when the family has a foundation building cultivator, Lin Xuanjia will be able to reduce a lot of pressure. Lin Haoyang inquired about it and found that Su Ling'er hadn't returned yet, so Lin Haoyang had to cast his gaze to Qingyunzong again. 9%. Chapter 53 Planning and Development Blueprint. Lin Haoyang's trip to the wilds this time made everyone worried, so Lin Haoyang first decided to go back to Baixiang Mountain to see the patriarch, thanking him for the Tier 4 magic talisman, so that the clan would be relieved. Then go to Fengyuanfang City again to see Grandpa Lin Xuancheng, and then go to Qingyunzong. Lin Xuanjia and Chu Mengyao were present in Pingyang City. Lin Haoyang didn't worry at all, and quickly hurried towards Baixiang Mountain. It took half a month for Lin Haoyang to return to Lin's house. As soon as he returned to the Lin family, Lin Haoyang felt a sense of physical and mental comfort. He simply strolled around Baixiang Mountain to see the situation of his clan. The family members of the same clan greeted him and flew to the bamboo building of Qianlong in the back mountain forest. Lin Qianlong is now the 8th floor cultivation base of the foundation building. He is still 60 years away from Shouyuan's dryness. Although with the help of Xianjing, there is only a 50% chance of the first breakthrough, so he has to cultivation to the foundation building as soon as possible. Consummation, so that you can give yourself some time, even if you fail, there is still the possibility of another impact. Therefore, Lin Qianlong has been practicing hard in closed-door training for these years, and seldom comes out to walk around. But when Lin Haoyang came back, Lin Qianlong still interrupted closed-door training and came out to see Lin Haoyang. This time Lin Haoyang fought for the family, and it was regarded as repaying some of the kindness of Lin's family that he did not hesitate to start a clan war for him. Seeing Lin Haoyang returned intact, Lin Qianlong was relieved, and the two talked for a long time in the bamboo building in Haoshan. Tell Lin Haoyang one by one what happened in the family during these years. Since Lin Haoyang opened a store in Pingyang City, the life of the Lin family has been much easier. Over the years, some good players have also been cultivated. Now the number of cultivators in the family has exceeded 200, and the number of mortals has reached about 200,000. The Lin family has grown in size. And Lin Haoyang also told Lin Qianlong about his vision for the future development of the family. If a family of cultivating immortals devotes all their energy to trade, then the people of this family will gradually become profitable, and everything will be the greatest benefit. It is possible that in the future, for a foundation building pill, the relatives may beat you to death. This is something that Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong don't want to see, so now, Lin Haoyang wants to express his own ideas. After finishing his thoughts, Lin Haoyang said, in the past, the family was in a difficult situation, and family governance was mostly maintained by family kinship, and there have been no major incidents for many years. Now the life in the clan is getting better and better, and the clan members don't need to think in advance for the family to tide over the difficulties as they did in the past. The life of the tribesmen is improved. Without external pressure, they will think about the 1/3 acre land of own, and they will think about seeking cultivation resources for their own family and future generations. At that time, it may be a foundation building pill, there will be a murder and frame up. In order to prevent this situation, we must formulate complete family rules, set up a special criminal law hall, and check out children who commit crimes and violate the family rules. Only in this way can the family have cohesion. Another point is that the focus of family development should not be placed on trading shops, but on the family industry. We must base ourselves on the 5 elements of spiritual fields, medicine gardens, minerals, specialty products, and immortality. As long as there are these 5 major with pillars as support, even if disaster happens, our Lin family will not fall down easily. This time I went to Tianhefeng City. Because of a demon cultivator disaster, the entire Yuananjai was turned into ruins, and the astronomical investment in the early stage was all in vain. Even in charge of affairs is to run away and run away. Therefore, our Lin family must own their own industry. Can be regarded as a real family. Quote. After Lin Haoyang had finished speaking, he finally felt happy in his heart. These days he had been thinking about the ills that the Lin family had developed. If the Lin family continues to expand in a days like this, sooner or later, the hearts of the people will collapse. Seeing that Lin Haoyang had such a sharp insight, Lin Qianlong was very pleased and said, Haoyang, I didn't expect you to think so deeply. Very well, I have already planned this for a long time to establish family rules. I also agree with the establishment of 5 major family businesses. In the past 2 years, the people's minds have fluctuated a bit, thinking that opening up a spiritual field did not open a shop to earn spirit stones. Everyone wanted to go to 2 shops to be on duty. For this matter, even some Mencius cultivators who had retired came to me. Therefore, the establishment of the criminal law hall is imperative, but there is no extra foundation building cultivator in our clan to be the head of this criminal law hall. Moreover, to open up the 5 major industries, people also need to guard the leaders. Quote. Lin Haoyang smiled and said, I have prepared for my return this time. I have some spirit stones in my hand. I plan to borrow some spirit stones from the clan to see if I can exchange one for the foundation building Dan in Qingyunzong. Moreover, there are some ideas for family construction. I plan to set up 8 churches. Lingyaotang, Guanlingtian and Yaoyuan, Sheniaitang, Guanshanmen Bai. Mineral Hall Tube Mineral Specialties. Shengjiatang manages stores and transports everything. General Affairs Hall in charge of family inheritance, affairs, mortals and everything. Criminal Law Hall control the tribe and enforce the rules. Foreign Affairs Hall unite the 4 major families, rogue cultivators, Qingyunzong Lin family disciples, and dredge the relationship. Battle Hall the only hall that can serve concurrently. I will be the master of the hall, and I will start the fight for the family. Above the 8 halls, there is an elder meeting, where all major family matters are determined by discussion. Quote. After Lin Haoyang finished speaking, Lin Qianlong looked at Lin Haoyang blankly, with a trace of remembrance in his eyes. More than 100 years ago, Zhang Yuandao, the ancestor who led the Lin family to the fourth-rank family, had the same idea, but the incident happened suddenly that year and the matter was stranded before it was implemented. Unexpectedly, 100 years later, the Lin family would have such a talented person. How could Lin Qianlong be unhappy? Therefore, Lin Qianlong did not have the slightest doubt, and fully supported Lin Haoyang to initiate reforms to make the Lin family more suitable for survival in this world. Seeing that Lin Qianlong agreed so easily, Lin Haoyang was still a little surprised. Unexpectedly, Lin Qianlong's vision was so broad and he couldn't help but admire him, but Lin Haoyang didn't have the energy for the cumbersome task of establishing Batang. With the excuses of visiting his grandfather and exchanging the foundation building Dan, Lin Haoyang went off again and took everything. All the trivial matters are given to Lin Qianlong. Asshole, don't come back in the future, just find me something to do as soon as you come back. Lin Qianlong roared. For a while, everyone in the Lin family guessed how Lin Haoyang had provoked the patriarch. But soon, new regulations were promulgated, and the people of the tribe realized that the third ancestor of the Lin family was about to attack the Lin family. Although some people objected, Lin Qianlong immediately convened a clan meeting to inform everyone that no one can change this decision. No matter whose interests are moved, as long as the clan rules are violated, they will be executed by the Criminal Law Hall, and the new head of the Criminal Law Hall, Lin Ganlong. The Lin family is making drastic reforms, and it took Lin Haoyang 6 days to reach Fengyuanfang City. After taking a brief look at the development of Fengyuanfang City, I went to see Lin Xuancheng. Since Lin Xuancheng broke through the third order refiner, Lin Haoyang has not seen Lin Xuancheng. As soon as they met, the grandfather and grandchildren had a long conversation and exchanged experience in refining tools. What shocked Lin Haoyang was that Lin Xuancheng had a special talent for refining puppets. Relying on a third-tier refining puppet node, Lin Xuancheng explored the method of refining second-tier middle-grade puppets, which made Lin Haoyang feel ashamed. Lin Haoyang's current level of the third-tier middle-grade refining equipment also made Lin Xuancheng very happy, and at the same time, Lin Haoyang also explained the problems for Lin Xuancheng, so that Lin Xuancheng immediately empowered. Unknowingly, the roles of the two exchanged. The once looking up has become the current reliance. Lin Haoyang spent half a month in Fengyuanfang City before hurriedly heading to Qingyunzong. 9%. Chapter 54 Su Qin. By the time of Qingyunzong, it was already a month later. Since the last time he had been with Zuo Qianji, the Lin family had already owned 4 foundation buildings, and his status in the Qingyunzong had also risen. Lin Haoyang no longer needed to report when he re-entered the Qingyunzong mountain gate. Enter, you can enter by yourself. However, Lin Haoyang still sent a sound transmission note to Bai Qingyan so as not to disturb Bai Qingyan during the closed-door training and pill refining. After waiting for 5 hours at the gate of Qingyunzong mountain, Bai Qingyan arrived with an imperial sword. He hadn't seen it for many years. Bai Qingyan missed it very much. As soon as he heard Lin Haoyang was coming, he immediately rushed to Yujian. As soon as they met, Bai Qingyan threw herself into Lin Haoyang's arms. The young couple who hadn't seen each other in many years were rare to be tender. Lin Haoyang touched Bai Qingyan's long hair and said, "So many people are watching, don't be ashamed." Suddenly, Bai Qingyan blushed pretty, and buried her face in Lin Haoyang's chest, and said ashamed, "Huh, don't you all blame you, haven't come to see me in a few years." After that, Bai Qingyan twisted the soft flesh of Lin Haoyang's waist, and Lin Haoyang's face turned blue in pain, and she begged for mercy. "Daughter-in-law, I was wrong. Never dare to do it again." The two beat and scolded for a while, and returned to Zufeng Mountain under the gaze of everyone, smiling. 5 or 6 years have passed, the bamboo sea has become greener, and the original 10 acres of spiritual fields have been planted with elixir by Bai Qingyan. Bai Qingyan is still reopening a 10-mu spiritual field on the side, all of which are planted with a second-order low-grade spiritual rice, Black Moon rice. This newly opened 10 acres of spiritual rice produces Black Moon rice. The output of Bai Qingyan, Lin Xuanlin and the two are completely enough to eat. After the opening of the Xianjing mine, Lin Xuanlin was ordered to garrison for 10 years, and now only 6 years have passed, and there are still 4 years to have 10 years of freedom. Bai Qingyan broke through to become a third-order pill refining teacher 3 years ago, and has no assignments, but every year she helps sect refine medicine pill. In a few years, Bai Qingyan has broken through the second floor of the foundation building, and there is still a gap between it and the third floor of the foundation building. Bai Qingyan is a different spiritual roots cultivator, but cultivation can't catch up with Lin Haoyang's 3 spiritual roots cultivator. Lin Haoyang was carrying the profound secret art of the Buddha, and the speed of absorbing spiritual qi was originally fast. No matter how Lin Haoyang has been honing between life and death, he always gets more resources and experience. After enjoying the scenery of Zufeng Mountain with Bai Qingyan, Lin Haoyang mentioned his intention. Regarding the foundation building Dan, Lin Haoyang has the mentality to give it a try, because according to the previous rules, only one foundation building Dan can be refined every 10 years. Since the last time I learned that Qingyunzong has a spare and private collection of foundation building tango, Lin Haoyang has decided to give it a try. After hearing Lin Haoyang's purpose, Bai Qingyan frowned and wanted to obtain a spare foundation building Dan. This matter was too difficult. Even Xiao Yikai didn't have much inventory in his hands. Moreover, Xiao Yi was offended last time for the two daughters of the foundation building. I am afraid that even if he still has a collection in his hand, he will not exchange it for Lin Haoyang. For this kind of thing, Lin Haoyang is not good to trouble Zuo Qianji directly. The relationship between the two is not so good yet. After some thoughts, Lin Haoyang decided to go to Xiao Yikai to try. If it fails, Lin Haoyang decided to go to the Chongshan Tower. I stayed in Zufeng Mountain for 2 more days, and spent 2 days of mortal life with Bai Qingyan. In the end, Bai Qingyan urged the two to head towards Xiao Yikai's immortal cave. Xiao Yi is the golden core cultivator, and immortal cave is built on a 4th-order spiritual vein, far more majestic and wider than Zufeng Mountain. The two came to Xiao Yikai's immortal cave, and there was a pair of virgin boys and girls outside the door. The two were Xiao Yikai recruited to manage the spiritual field and deal with the pill refining elixir. Lin Haoyang stepped forward and asked, "Is Xiao Elder there?" Seeing that 2 foundation building cultivators had found them, the boy didn't dare to lie, and said, "The ancestor opened the furnace yesterday and is refining a tier 4 medicine pill. No one will be disturbed during this time." Lin Haoyang frowned. Unexpectedly, Xiao Yi was refining medicine pill at this moment. A batch of tier 4 medicine pill was worth more than 10,000 spirit stones, and it would take at least a month to refine a batch of tier 4 medicine pill. Lin Haoyang repeatedly weighed and thought that it was still too time-consuming, and he still had to think of other ways, so he said, "Excuse me." Lin Haoyang left, and the two returned with swordsmanship, preparing to think of another way, but Lin Haoyang and the two had just returned to Immortal Cave, and someone who Lin Haoyang hadn't expected came to visit. A ray of light fell on Zufeng Mountain, and Lin Haoyang and the two immediately noticed it, and Lin Haoyang looked surprised when they saw the person coming. Bai Qingyan has never seen this person, but from the perspective of its power, I am afraid that cultivation base has surpassed the foundation building and reached the level of golden core. Lin Haoyang suppressed his shock and said, "Su Elder." Su Qin waved his hand and said, "I am not Elder of the Azure Cloud sect. You don't have to call it that. You must have guessed that I am from the Chongshan Tower. Su Linger visited the main building a few days ago. Before leaving, she said that if you have any needs, I can help you as much as possible. This time, I heard that you came to Qingyunzong to find Xiao Yikai. Is it because you want to exchange for foundation building Dan?" Quote. Lin Haoyang narrowed his eyes. He already had some guesses about Su Qin's coming from Zhongshan Tower. It was only a slight surprise that his cultivation base reached golden core, but what was most unexpected was Su Linger's attitude. The reason is certainly not simple. Since Brother Su is not Elder of the Azure Cloud sect, why can he travel here unimpeded? Lin Haoyang asked curiously. Su Qin glanced at Bai Qingyan, knowing that his relationship with Lin Haoyang was extraordinary, and said, "It's okay to tell you, Qingyunzong will tell sect about this sooner or later. Qingyunzong is the springboard chosen by Chongshanlu to open up wasteland. Our two sects will develop along the Qingyunzong together. The Taiyamen you went to before is the springboard for Yuananjai, an ally of Chongshanlu." Quote. After speaking, Lin Haoyang and Bai Qingyan both felt shocked, and the amount of information in this news was too great. In the past, the Wasteland Reclamation season did have the 6th rank forces to join, but this situation only appeared in resource-rich places, because the wild also has 6th rank demonic beasts, and there is no cultivator involved in the gods, and low-level cultivator is simply a matter of paper. At this moment, Lin Haoyang finally felt that a war was approaching. Su Linger and Su Qin's deliberate wooing was probably also trying to win over talents and contribute to them. But Lin Haoyang, as an affiliate of the Azure Cloud sect, had a hard time making a decision at this moment. Seeing Lin Haoyang frown slightly between his eyebrows, he smiled and said, "Brother Lin is worried. Since we have formed an alliance with Qingyunzong, then we are in the same boat and will not embarrass you. Lin Haoyang only relaxed now. If Su Qin asked him to stand in the team, he would end up embarrassingly today. By the way, after talking for a long time, I forgot to mention the business. You go to Xiao Yikai, is it for foundation building Dan? Su Qin said. Lin Haoyang's eyes lit up. Seeing Su Qin's appearance, it must be a play. Exactly, I am here this time to exchange 2 foundation building Dans. Seeing Lin Haoyang's confession so happily, he no longer talked about it, took out 2 jade boxes from the storage bag, and said, I came here this time and I happened to have some resources in my hand, but the medicine pill of the foundation building, our Chongshan Tower, is also in short supply. We only brought 5 of them this time. 3 of them have been exchanged over the years, and it happens to be left. Both of them will be exchanged for you. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. He really had nowhere to look after breaking through the iron shoes, and it was all effortless. Exchanged glances with Bai Qingyan, both of them decided to change. Therefore, Lin Haoyang took out the 20,000 spirit stones that had been prepared a long time ago from the storage bag and handed them to Su Qin. Su Qin smiled and handed 2 foundation building Dans to Lin Haoyang, and the transaction was completed. However, this is equivalent to Lin Haoyang owing Su Qin a favor. Lin Haoyang knew that these foundation building Dans were used by Su Qin to cultivate his confidant, but the Lin family now needs this foundation building Dan and can only owe this favor. Brother Lin, the younger sister will ask for something when you come, please consider it more, Brother Lin. Lin Haoyang secretly said that it was true, but on the face it still said. Then it depends on how difficult things are for fellow Taoist Su. I am a 3-story foundation building cultivator, I'm afraid I won't be of much help. But Su Qin just smiled and didn't elaborate. After the two had a brief chat, Su Qin left Zufeng Mountain, leaving only Lin Haoyang and Bai Qingyan in the vast mountain range. 9%. Chapter 55 Fragments of the Immortal Realm. Lin Haoyang now has 2 foundation building pills in his hand, and the mission of this trip is considered complete, although Lin Haoyang wants to visit Lin Xuanlin very much. However, the Xianjing ore vein is still some distance away from the Azure Cloud sect. It will take another month to come and go. Lin Haoyang still decided to return to Baixiang Mountain first to properly settle the foundation building Dan in his hand. The next day, Lin Haoyang bid farewell to Bai Qingyan, and drove away from the light to rush to Baixiang Mountain. After spending more than 20 days, Lin Haoyang returned to Baixiang Mountain. Compared to the past, Baixiang Mountain has undergone earth-shaking changes. Even characters such as Lin Xuanjia and Lin Xuancheng who have not been in the clan for a long time were recalled because the establishment of Batang requires their witness and participation. In the 8th Hall, Lin Xuanlu, the master of the Panacea Hall, has 9 layers of condensed veins, a second-tier high-grade spiritual planter. The master of Sheniaitang, Lin Xuancheng, has 9 levels of condensed veins, and a third-order lower-grade refiner. Master of the Mineral Hall, Lin Shufeng, 9-story vein condensation, a second-tier middle-grade mineral seeker. The chief of the Chamber of Commerce, Lin Xuanjing, and the deputy chief of Chu Mengyao, condense the veins on the 9th floor, and they both manage together. The master of the General Affairs Hall, Lin Xuanyu, cultivator, Lin Mengchen's son, Lin Xuanyu has been in charge of the family affairs after the death of Lin Mengchen. Director of the Criminal Law Hall, Lin Qianlong, cultivation base on the foundation building, a third-order middle-grade talisman maker. Director of the Foreign Affairs Hall, Lin Shuyun, cultivation base. Hall Master of the Battle Hall, Lin Haoyang, cultivation base on the 3rd floor of the foundation building, Deputy Hall Master Lin Xuanjia, cultivation base on the 1st floor of the foundation building, a third-tier middle-grade refiner. The Hall Master of the 8th Hall has been temporarily fixed in this way. The Lin family now has 15 cultivators for the 9-floor condensing vessel. Except for the Hallmaster of the 8th Hall, the other 9-floor condensing vessel is the deputy chief. The Batang Hall of the Lin family will be the center of rights of the Lin family from now on. Lin Haoyang was very satisfied with Lin Qianlong's efficiency, and he was worthy of being the patriarch for many years. When Lin Haoyang came back, he directly became the Hall Master of the Lin family. At present, there are 64 cultivators in the battle hall, and 5 cultivators on the 9th floor of the cultivator. The rest of the cultivators are all the cultivation base, plus Lin Haoyang and Lin Xuanjia, the 2 foundation building cultivators. This force is already very strong. Moreover, with Lin Xuanjia, a Tier 3 formation master, and Lin Haoyang, a Tier 3 refiner, the combat power of this team will be stronger than everyone thought. Lin Haoyang first went to Lin Qianlong, and gave him a foundation building dan in his hand, and let Lin Qianlong decide the ownership of this foundation building dan. As for himself, he went to Pingyang City to hand over Chu Mengyao's foundation building dan to her, which was considered to have fulfilled his original promise. The foundation building pill in Lin Qianlong's hands, he thought about it, and finally decided to give it to Lin Xuanyu. Lin Xuanyu has cultivated the 9 veins for 6 or 7 years. The cultivation base has been very solid, and it is also the 3 spiritual roots cultivator, and only this year. At the age of 50, there is a 70% chance of foundation building. Moreover, Lin Xuanyu's father, Lin Mengchun, made great contributions to the Lin family, and accumulated a lot of favors for Lin Xuanyu. Their lineage is very prestigious in the family. So Lin Xuanyu succeeded Lin Xuanchun and continued to take charge of the family affairs. Therefore, Lin Xuanyu is enough regardless of strength, foundation, and contribution, so Lin Qianlong exchanged the foundation building dan to him. Lin Xuanyu, because his father Lin Mengchun was an elder for many years, has a solid family background, coupled with his own accumulation, and borrowed some from his relatives. A total of 5,000 spirit stones were collected. The other 5,000 would need to be repaid slowly after the foundation building. Half a month later, Lin Haoyang came to Pingyang City to give the foundation building dan to Chu Mengyao. Seeing the foundation building dan, Chu Mengyao was shocked. I didn't expect Lin Haoyang to get her the foundation building dan so quickly. The background is not like what a third-rank family can have. For a while, Chu Mengyao had a new understanding of Lin Haoyang, and his loyalty to the Lin family increased a bit. In order to safely break through the foundation building, Chu Mengyao asked Lin Haoyang to help him protect the law, and the location was chosen in the Immortal Cave before Lin Haoyang. Over the years, the Lin family kept renting the Immortal Cave to facilitate Lin Haoyang's travels. And this time, it happened to be used by Chu Mengyao Foundation Building. It has been 5 years since Chu Mengyao completed the 9th floor of the foundation building, but she has been delaying the exchange of the foundation building dan because she has not collected enough spirit stones. And Chu Mengyao itself is the 2nd spiritual roots cultivator, with profound background, foundation building can be 80% sure. Soon, under the guardianship of Lin Haoyang, Chu Mengyao began to enter the closed-door training state. At this time, Su Linger, who had returned from the Chongshan Tower, approached Lin Haoyang. Outside Immortal Cave, Su Linger came to Lin Haoyang. Because Chu Mengyao was in closed-door training, the two could only talk outside Immortal Cave. Lin Haoyang, presumably you should have guessed, there is a reason why I support you like this. Lin Haoyang nodded and confessed very happily that he did not like to owe favors. Since Su Qin helped him because of Su Linger, then he would also pay the favors. Seeing Lin Haoyang's frankness, and guessing that Su Qin must have done something, but that doesn't matter, Su Linger thought about it for a while and said, Pingshengdao, Wuyinzhou, is the place where my heavy mountain tower is located. Wuyinzhou has 3 6th rank forces and 7 5th rank top forces. In order to allocate resources every 100 years, each school will send juniors to participate in the resources of Shuyang Mountain to allocate the proportion of resources occupied by all parties. Junior cultivation base is limited to the golden core level. Each person can invite 1 foreign aide, and I am one of the juniors who play in Chongshan Tower. Therefore, I would like to invite you to participate in the Shuyang Mountain trial as my foreign aide. The trial of Shuyang Mountain, although it is a trial, also contains great opportunities. Shuyang Mountain is not a thing in this world, but a piece of the fragments of the fairy world that was originally moved from the fairy world. Because it is only a fragment, it can only bear golden cultivation base below core. Quote. After listening to Chu Mengyao, Lin Haoyang's heart was shaken, fragments of the fairy world. The fragments moved from the immortal realm by the ancestors of the human race. All this made Lin Haoyang yearn for, and his heart was shaken. Lin Haoyang has heard since he was a child that the human race is not the original in this world, but the ancestors migrated from the immortal world by relying on the great magic power. However, what Lin Haoyang knew was limited to this. The Lin family was only a 3rd rank force and had limited access to information. However, he had always suspected that the jade fault in his hand was a thing from the immortal world and was accidentally lost. Whether it is to repay Su Linger's favor or to figure out the origin of Yuk, he must go to Yangshan for this song. Although he already had the answer in his mind, Lin Haoyang still asked. This trial should be very important. Why don't you look for the cultivator on the 9th floor of the foundation building? This way you have more confidence in winning. However, Sulinger shook his head and said, "In the Shuyang Mountain secret realm, strength does not determine everything. Sometimes luck is also a very important factor, and I have observed you for a long time and feel that you are a person with strong luck. Because of you, your Lin family has changed its declining trend and developed at an amazing speed. And all of this starts when you descend down the mountain, and it can be said that it is precisely because of your luck that the Lin family has what it is today. Therefore, I also want to borrow your luck to help me complete the Shuyang Mountain trial. And for completing the trial, Chongshanlu will reward you with 20,000 spirit stones and 3 foundation building pills as rewards." Quote. Lin Haoyang was a little surprised after hearing the remuneration given by Sulinger. Together, the value is already 50,000 spirit stones. Chongshan Tower is really a big deal. Since Sulinger was sincere, Lin Haoyang no longer pretended, and immediately agreed to Sulinger's invitation. Seeing Lin Haoyang's promise, Sulinger was overjoyed and said, "There are still 7 years before the trial begins. 7 years later, when you come to Pingyang City, we will return to the Chongshan Tower together. During this period, you will also have to build up some strength and strive to bring the cultivation base ascension to the 5th floor of the foundation building." Lin Haoyang nodded. It seems that after this period of work, he really needs to calm down and practice well. The two talked about the trial of Shuyang Mountain for a while, and Sulinger left. Seeing Sulinger leaving, Lin Haoyang's eyes were a little lost. Ching luck. This world. What is it like? 9%. Chapter 56. The Land of Longxing. A month later, there was a violent fluctuation in Immortal Cave. Lin Haoyang was delighted. Knowing that Chu Mengyao had already succeeded in the foundation building, he was afraid that it would take a few days to consolidate the cultivation base before he could leave the customs. 5 days later, the gate of Immortal Cave opened, and Chu Mengyao walked out of Immortal Cave with joy. Seeing Chu Mengyao leaving the customs, Lin Haoyang's face was also full of smiles. Although Chu Mengyao is not from the Lin family, he is now contributing to the Lin family. If he is strong enough, the Lin family's shop in Pingyang City can be safe. Now that Chu Mengyao has successfully established the foundation building and Lin Xuanjing has also rushed back from the Lin family, he no longer needs to worry about Pingyang City. So Lin Haoyang immediately set off for Baixiang Mountain. Lin Haoyang proposed that the family should take industry as the pillar. Lin Qianlong, Lin Xuanjia, and Lin Haoyang discussed raising Liunu's spiritual veins to the 3rd level. Lin Haoyang has a deep affection for Liangu, and he also wants to witness the upgrading of the 3rd level spiritual veins, one time. To upgrade the 3rd tier spirit veins, it takes 10,000 spirit stones to cultivate spiritual qi. In order to exchange for the foundation building Dan, the Lin family has already taken out the family. Although Lin Xuanyu exchanged for foundation building Dandong and put together 5,000 spirit stones, but Lin Haoyang still had 4,000 spirit stones, so there was nothing left. Lin Haoyang originally wanted to use these 4,000 spirit stones in the family, but cultivating tier 3 spiritual veins is a matter of benefit to the whole family, so Lin Qianlong decided to allocate these 10,000 spirit stones. Lin Xuanyu had already succeeded in foundation building before Lin Haoyang came back, becoming the 5th foundation building cultivator of the Lin family. However, Lin Xuanjia and Lin Xuanyu, the 2 foundation building cultivators, originally owed a large amount of spirit stones in the clan because they exchanged foundation building pills, and they didn't have many spirit stones on them. Therefore, Lin Qianlong decided that the Lin family would apportion 2,000 spirit stones, Lin Qianlong 2,000 spirit stones, Lin Haoyang 1,000 spirit stones, and the remaining 7,000 spirit stones, which would be distributed by all the people in the clan according to cultivation base. As a result, the spirit stones that cultivated tier 3 spirit veins finally got together, but the Lin family cultivator would have to go through another 2 or 3 years of hardship. However, when the 3rd order spiritual veins are cultivated in Li Yanggu, the number of spiritual fields will also increase greatly, and the output in 1 year will also be greatly increased. With spirit stones, Lin Haoyang and Lin Xuanjia immediately rushed to Lian Valley. For the foundation building cultivator, a distance of 3,000 miles can be reached in just 1 day. When he came to Lian Valley again, Lin Haoyang was nostalgic for a while, thinking that he would open up spiritual fields and cultivate rainbow trout snapper here alone, and he also completed the jade fault in his hand, and only then did he obtain the Buddha's profound art and magical treasure. It can be said that this is really his Longxing land from Yanggu. After years of pregnancy and breeding, Lian Valley has become a 2nd-tier lower-grade spiritual vein. The open spiritual field is also 30 acres. Even the rainbow trout snapper in the cold lake has 20 or 30, compared to when he left. The output has greatly exceeded. Because of the huge increase in output, the Lin family has dispatched 4 cultivators to garrison. There were more than 1,000 mortals who had migrated from the surrounding area of Yanggu. A town was established in the surrounding area of Liangu. Lin Haoyang was deeply puzzled and cast an inquiring look at Lin Xuanjia, but Lin Xuanjia smiled and said, "When you get to the valley, you will understand." Lin Haoyang was puzzled. He didn't know what Lin Xuanjia was paying attention to, just when Lin Haoyang's sword fell into Lian Valley. Roar! 2 tiger roars spread throughout the valley, and then 2 brown figures were seen running towards them. Seeing the 2 figures, Lin Haoyang suddenly realized that it turned out that it was the 2 little tiger cubs they had encountered when they eliminated the white-spotted gray wolf. Almost 10 years later, these 2 little tiger cubs have also grown up, and Lin Qianlong has spent a lot of thoughts in cultivating these 2 little tiger cubs. Some mortals migrated specifically around Lian Valley to feed cattle and horses and other blood foods for them. After 10 years of cultivation, the 2 little tiger cubs have been promoted to the 2nd order inferior level. If there are another 20 years, 2 Yan brown tigers can be promoted to Tier 3, and there are 2 Tier 3 flame brown tigers guarding Lian Valley, and there is no need to worry about the safety of Lian Valley. Ah, who knew? Slow down. Just when Lin Haoyang was full of memories, 2 brown figures came straight towards Lin Haoyang. Even after so many years, they still remember Lin Haoyang's breath clearly, so when Lin Haoyang's breath appeared again, they hurriedly rushed over. 2 second-tier demonic beasts pounced on him, even Lin Haoyang couldn't stand it. With the palms of his hands, a wave of spirit power held up the 2 flamed brown tigers, and Lin Haoyang was saved. Lin Haoyang got up, only then saw a little girl on the back of a flaming brown tiger, 7 or 8 years old, with 2 horn braids. Her pink face was still a little pale at the moment. I don't know if it was the 2 inflammations just now. The brown tiger ran at full strength, but was still scared to see Lin Haoyang and the 2, holding the Yan brown tiger's fur tightly with their 2 small hands. Seeing this scene, Lin Haoyang was surprised. He looked at Lin Xuanjia, but saw that the other party also shook his head. Lin Haoyang became interested. While touching the heads of the 2 flame brown tigers, he asked curiously, "Where did the little girl come from, and how did you meet these 2 big tigers?" The little girl was still a little scared, but still whispered, My name is Lin Xiaowen, and my home is in Yunxi town outside. Hunyu and Hua are my friends. After they come to the village to eat dinner, they will play with me." But Hunyu suddenly rushed to the village. "Here, I am scared to death." Although the little girl said it was simple, Lin Haoyang probably understood. Lin Xiaowen was a mortal from the Lin family outside Yanggu. For some unknown reason, she played with 2 flamed brown tigers. This time, it was because of Lin Haoyang that he was caught. The brown tiger was brought here. Lin Haoyang was a little puzzled. Why would demonic beasts like Yan Zonggu play with a mortal girl? Suddenly, Lin Haoyang Dantian moved. The speed of the Buddha profound art in his body speeded up by 3 points. Lin Haoyang frowned. The Buddha profound art was very mysterious. At the beginning, it was the cold lake that was discovered in Snake Mist relying on his super perception, and now the Buddha profound art. The truth has changed again. Is there anything special about this little girl? Little girl, don't move, let me see. Lin Haoyang said. When Lin Haoyang spoke, Lin Xiaowen sat obediently on the back of the Yan brown tiger, but still clutching the Yan brown tiger's fur with her 2 small hands. Lin Haoyang picked up a trace of the special black spirit power of the Buddha profound art at his fingertips, and pointed it on Lin Xiaowen's forehead. The mysterious formula of the Buddha is mysterious and extremely sensitive to spirit power. If Lin Xiaowen holds spiritual roots in his body, Lin Haoyang can perceive it. Seeing Lin Haoyang's solemnity, Lin Xuanjia became curious for a while, and even the vein condensation cultivator stationed here came to see him, but was blocked by Lin Xuanjia, asking him not to disturb Lin Haoyang. When the black spirit power of the Buddha's profound technique touched Lin Xiaowen's forehead, it slipped into Lin Xiaowen's body and went straight to Lin Xiaowen's body. When it came to Lin Xiaowen's dantian, a spirit power wave was hidden deep in Lin Xiaowen's dantian. The place is looming, although faint, it still can't escape the black spirit power's perception. This spirit power is extremely pure and a bit unfamiliar. It is not the common 5-element spirit power. Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. Lin Xiaowen turned out to be a different spiritual roots cultivator. Lin Haoyang suppressed the joy in his heart, and continued to urge the black spirit power to penetrate. When the foreign spirit power invaded, the pure spirit power finally reacted. The pure spirit power blew a wind and wanted to force Lin Haoyang's black spirit power out, in vitro. Feeling this wind, Lin Haoyang had speculation in his heart. Lin Haoyang had seen this spirit power in the golden core ancestor Zheng Jichang of Chongshan Tower. With the answer, Lin Haoyang slowly withdrew spirit power from Lin Xiaowen's body. Just then Lin Haoyang smiled, patted Lin Xiaowen's head, and said, "Xiaowen, you have spiritual roots in your body, and you can cultivate it in the future." 10%. Chapter 57. Tier 3 Spirit Vessel. Lin Xiaowen is just a mortal woman, who has an enlightenment on cultivating immortals. She is very longing for it, but a mortal child only has the opportunity to check whether she has spiritual roots in her body at the age of 10. Lin Xiaowen is only 8 years old now, and it is not time yet. When Lin Haoyang said she has spiritual roots in her body, Lin Xiaowen's excited little face flushed. Road. Really? Lin Haoyang smiled, touched Lin Xiaowen's head, and said, "Really? And the spiritual roots in Xiaowen's body are still very powerful, they are the spiritual roots of the wind attribute." Lin Haoyang said. Lin Xiaowen, an 8-year-old child who understood this, kept chanting, "Wind attribute. Wind attribute," as if he was afraid that Lin Haoyang would lie to her. Not only Lin Xiaowen, shocked, even Lin Xuanjia felt incredible. The wind attribute is a different spiritual roots. If nothing else, he would definitely become a golden core cultivator. Now there is no different spiritual roots cultivator in the entire Lin family. I did not expect that this time I picked up a treasure, Lin Xuanjia wrote. Haoyang, mortals don't live long, and the Lin family can't be counted among them, since you discovered this girl. Lin Jiayi Ren Siwan, Qinmeng Xuanshu, Huge Zhu Li, Taichang Wanian 16 character genealogy, this little girl is just behind you, it is a Han character cultivator, you can give her a new name. Quote. Lin Haoyang's heart moved, immortals are different, cultivator life, mortals for hundreds of years, not in the same world at all. Lin Xiaowen is predestined with her, and here let him discover that there is no pearl in the dust. Lin Haoyang started cultivating the Tao at the age of 6, and he was earlier than others. This is the advantage of cultivating the Tao in advance. You and I are destined, how about you call Lin Hanyuan from now on? Lin Haoyang asked. The little girl frowned, thinking that the name was not very nice, but she seemed to know that the name was a bit more important, so she could only grumble. Then can my nickname be Lin Xiaowen? Lin Haoyang's face blushed, knowing that the little girl didn't like the name he chose, but he couldn't think of a good name for a while, so he had to say. From now on, if outsiders ask, you will call Lin Hanyuan, and I will call you Xiaowengsing, right? Yeah, the little girl nodded happily when Lin Haoyang said so. On the side, Lin Xuanjia shook his head helplessly, but the Lin family had a different spiritual roots cultivator, which was indeed a major event. You must know that back then, the Bai family had a different spiritual roots cultivator, and Bai Zonkang immediately decided to send it to the Azure Cloud sect. Because different spiritual roots are scarce, third-rank forces like them have no cultivation technique suitable for the cultivation of different spiritual roots. The Lin family once produced the Golden Core Cultivator. There are 9 foundation building cultivation techniques in the clan. Basically 5 elements spiritual roots have suitable cultivation techniques, but the Golden Core Cultivation technique only has 1 metallic cultivation technique. And suitable for different spiritual roots cultivation, there is only 1 thunder cultivation technique, which can be cultivated to the foundation building, which was collected in the clan by the ancestor of Golden Core, Lin Yuandao. If you want Lin Xiaowen to cultivate, you must find the wind attribute cultivation technique that suits her practice, otherwise, you can only send it to Qingyunzong, or even the Chongshan Tower, so that it will not delay cultivation. Faced with such a predicament, Lin Haoyang decided to find some cultivation techniques after he was busy leaving the Cloud Valley. Not only Lin Xiaowen, but also the inheritance of the spiritual planter, pill refining, and mind seeker were not enough. Can cultivation to the second order. If this continues, the family will not be able to nurture talents, and it will be difficult to develop and grow. Lin Haoyang and the others walked all the way, looking at how Liangu would arrange the third order spiritual gathering formation to raise the spiritual pulse to third order. When everyone came to the cold lake away from the center of Yanggu, Lin Haoyang found that the small building he had built was still there, and it remained as before. However, the spiritual qi here is far better than before, and the yellow rice grass grows stronger than before. Ah, it's so comfortable here, Lin Xiaowen said comfortably while riding on the yan brown tiger. Lin Haoyang smiled. This is the first time that Lin Xiaowen has come into contact with such a rich spirit power. Her body automatically greedily absorbs spirit power and feels comfortable. Puff! A 6-foot-sized rainbow trout snapper jumped out of the water. Looking at Lin Haoyang with a big eye, Lin Haoyang recognized that this was the Fish King back then, and has now been cultivated to the second-tier top-grade peak. I am afraid it does not take long to evolve into Tier 3 demonic beasts. When the Yan Brown Tiger sees the kingfish, his eyes are immediately fierce. When the Fish King saw this, he just opened his mouth and spit out a water arrow, so that the 2 Yan Brown Tigers were wetted all over, and even Lin Xiaowen became a rookie. Lin Xiaowen puffed up a small mouth and looked at the Fish King angrily. Lin Haoyang just watched from the sidelines and didn't make a move. After the kingfish took a look at Lin Haoyang, he dived into the water again. At this time, Lin Xuanjia was also optimistic about the terrain, and decided to use the cold pool as the center to establish a third-order spirit gathering formation. For formation, Lin Haoyang dabbled very little, and Lin Xuanjia relied on Lin Xuanjia to perform this mission. Lin Xuanjia chose a good array of eyes, took out a 108-stroke flag from his storage bag, raised it with both hands, and the 108-stroke flag flew everywhere in the valley. After all the formation flags returned to their positions, Lin Xuanjia began to portray runes, and mysterious runes flew out from Lin Xuanjia's fingertips. Lin Xuanjia is portraying the rune of the formation of spirit gathering. As there are more and more runes, the spiritual chi of Li Yonggu becomes stronger and stronger. When the number of runes in the air reached a certain amount, Lin Xuanjia hand seals with both hands abruptly, and the 10,000 spirit stones in the storage bag flew out, and then shattered everywhere in Lian Valley. As the 10,000 spirit stones shattered and dissociated in the air, spiritual chi turned into a spiritual chi frantic current, smashing directly onto the cold pool from the air, and then rolling along the water in all directions. Lin Haoyang and others were hit head-on by this strong spiritual chi, and the 4 cultivators immediately sat down in the lotus position to refine these spiritual chi. This was also a chance for them. Lin Haoyang didn't dare to absorb these spiritual chi unscrupulously. He was afraid that the Buddha Xuanzhenju could not stop the car by then, destroying this spiritual advancement. At this moment, the Fish King in the cold pool jumped out of the water. His aura soared, his fish scales became thicker and brighter, and his forehead also grew 2 small horns. The Fish King used this spiritual vein to rise in one fell swoop. Breakthrough becomes the third-order demonic beasts. The spirit power flow only lasted for half of the incense, before it dissipated. At this time, Lin Xuanjia fell to the ground with a tired face. It seems that this upgrade of the third-order formation cost Lin Xuanjia a lot. Fortunately not insulting one's life. Lin Xuanjia glanced at the various runes in the sky and said. Then he waved his hand and took back all the flags that had been scattered all over Lian Valley. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. He could clearly feel that Li Yonggu's spiritual veins have been upgraded to Tier 3 at this moment. From then on, the number of Li Yonggu's spiritual veins will be doubled, and the output can also be doubled. The third-order spiritual veins of Li Yonggu have been upgraded, the second-order formation here is not enough, and the cultivator station there is not enough. Therefore, Lin Xuanjia will stay here for a while, relying on Tier 3 spirit veins to arrange a Tier 3 defense formation. The clan will also send some more cultivators, relying on the Tier 3 formation, and 2 flamed brown tigers. In the future, even if the foundation building cultivator attacks, they can protect themselves. Lin Haoyang stayed in Lian Valley for another 3 days. First, he was nostalgic for the life of the year. Second, if Lin Xiaowen wanted to cultivate, she had to go to Baixiang Mountain, which required her to work with Yunxi Town. Mortal parents say goodbye. For these 3 days, Lin Haoyang wanted Lin Xiaowen to accompany her parents. Lin Xiaowen's parents heard that their children had spiritual veins, and they were immediately overjoyed. After a banquet, the whole village was invited to have a big meal. When parting, Lin Xiaowen was asked to bring a large package of specialty products, so that Lin Xiaowen would live better in Baixiang Mountain. 3 days later, Lin Haoyang took Lin Xiaowen and left under the gaze of all the villagers. When Lin Xiaowen left, she smiled all the way and didn't cry until she left Yunxi Town. Lin Haoyang knew that this was Lin Xiaowen not wanting to make her parents sad. Xiaowen, as long as you cultivate to realm, I will allow you to take your parents to live in Baixiang Mountain. Lin Haoyang said. Lin Xiaowen's eyes lit up, wiped away her tears, and said. Then I have to work hard to cultivate, and strive to cultivate as soon as possible to condense the veins. 10%. Chapter 58 Zheng Guo. With Lin Xiaowen, Lin Haoyang could barely fly with his sword, but this little guy had a good time. One day later, Lin Haoyang returned to Lin's house. Lin Xiaowen's conception of spiritual roots has attracted the attention of the Lin family. Lin Qianlong also has a headache for the cultivation technique suitable for her cultivation. As he knows, it is not only that the Lin family does not have a cultivation technique suitable for spiritual roots cultivation, but even the Qingyan sect, nothing. Although there is no matching cultivation technique, Lin Xiaowen can first cultivate the qi technique and store the heaven and earth spiritual qi in his own dantian, but the cultivation technique without the wind attribute is always a rootless tree. Previously in Snake Mist Valley, Zheng Jicheng used the wind attribute cultivation technique, so Lin Haoyang wanted to go to Pingyang City to see if it was possible to get a wind attribute cultivation technique from Chongshan Tower. Arranged for Lin Xiaowen at Baixiang Mountain, Lin Haoyang immediately set off for Pingyang City. Half a month later, Lin Haoyang arrived in Pingyang City. When he arrived at Pingyang City, he learned that Su Ling'er was no longer in Pingyang City, and the old acquaintance Xian was in charge of Pingyang City at the moment. The competition for the Chongshan Building nursing pill has ended. With the contribution of Xian in the Snake Mist Valley and some family backgrounds, he finally overwhelmed some golden core late stages in the Chongshan Building and won an infant pill. With this strange treasure in her arms, Ziyan did not dare to stay in the Chongshan Tower, but quietly returned to Pingyang City. In this remote place, Pingyang City, those people would not hit her with their ideas. Lin Haoyang sent a sound transmission note to Ziyan, and the two of them had some friendship. If the cultivation technique is really windy in the Chongyan Tower, Ziyan would also be accommodating. After receiving the sound transmission note, Ziyan came to see Lin Haoyang, and when he saw Lin Haoyang, Ziyan said, "Last time, thank you fellow Taoist for your help." Lin Haoyang narrowed his eyes and then stretched out again. Only Su Ling'er was aware of the incident on the day. Ziyan knew about it. It was apparent that Su Ling'er had lightened Ziyan 1 or 2 later. Before Su Ling'er left, he deliberately told Ziyan about this matter in secret. Ziyan was also a wise man. He knew that this matter was Lin Haoyang's secret. Out of trust in Su Ling'er, Ziyan didn't ask much, only Lin Haoyang. It was the one who saved her that day. And Su Ling'er did this because he wanted Ziyan to take care of the Lin family when he was away. If Lin Haoyang asked for something, he could think of this kindness. Seeing Lin Haoyang's expression, Ziyan said, "Lin fellow Taoist, rest assured, Ziyan is not an ungrateful villain. I will never mention the fellow Taoist thing to others." Lin Haoyang saw that a golden core cultivator could lower his posture like this, and felt that Ziyan was not malicious. Moreover, the secret of his own cultivation technique must not be hidden. Sooner or later, he will face the world, so Lin Haoyang didn't hold it too much. Lin Haoyang said, "Ziyan fellow Taoist is serious. I have this little skill. How can I enter the cultivation technique of the Chongshan Tower? To be honest, I came to Pingyang City this time to ask whether the cultivation technique has the wind attribute cultivation technique." Ziyan frowned and said, "Wind attribute cultivation technique. Naturally, I have cultivation technique in Chongshanlu. The ancestor Zheng Jicheng is the wind attribute cultivation technique of cultivation. Its wind fission technique can be cultivated to the nascent soul late stage cultivation technique, but it is because it is too powerful. Therefore, it is impossible to escape. You come to ask for the wind attribute cultivation technique. It must be your Lin family who has a different spiritual roots cultivator. Why not let her join my Chongshan Tower, and then worship the ancestor Zheng Jicheng? This is not all solved." Quote. Lin Haoyang also thought about Ziyan's proposal, but this is the worst plan. If Lin Xiaowen is allowed to worship the Chongshan Tower, she will definitely focus on the Chongshan Tower in the future, and there will be heavy handyman handling, just like Lin Xuanlin. A handyman is to guard the Xianjing vein for 10 years. As long as there is a wind attribute cultivation technique, the Lin family can also train Lin Xiaowen. The Lin family now can obtain not only the foundation building Dan, but also Xianjing. These key resources are not lacking at all. Therefore, Lin Haoyang did not want Lin Xiaowen to join the Chongshan Tower, so he said, "I don't want to join the Chongshan Tower for the time being, let me think of a way." Ziyan opened his mouth to speak, but turned into a helpless sigh. He clearly understood Lin Haoyang's intentions, and after thinking about it, he said, "Lin fellow Taoist, since you want to cultivate this different spiritual roots cultivator by yourself, you might as well go to the nearby country of Zheng, where there is a large town Yi Quanfang, where are a large number of rogue cultivators and nearby sects gathered. Presumably, there should be a wind attribute cultivation technique." Quote. After listening to Xian's suggestion, Lin Haoyang's eyes lit up. He had never heard of Yekwanfang City before, but what Xian said was that Yekwanfang City was more than just a square city. Seeing that Lin Haoyang was determined to pay attention, Xian took out a token and a map from the storage bag and handed them to Lin Haoyang, saying, "This is the map of Zhongguo, which is useful to you, and this token is my elder order. If necessary, you can go to the Zhongshan building branch of Yekwanfang City for help and buy things with this token. It can also be cheaper." Lin Haoyang took two objects, both of which were very important to him, and he had no reason to refuse. Originally, Lin Haoyang wanted to thank Ziyan, but was interrupted by Ziyan waved her hand. It was just that she was paying back a favor. After parting with Ziyan, Lin Haoyang came to Lin's shop in Pingyang City. He asked Lin Xuanjing to send someone back to Lin's house to send a letter to Lin Qianlong, saying that he was going to Zhongguo to find some cultivation technique classics. In addition, Lin Haoyang took away the only 2,000 spirit stones on the account. This trip will definitely require a lot of spirit stones, and now Lin Haoyang has only 3,000 spirit stones on his own. Even if 2,000 are added, it is not enough. However, Lin Haoyang still went straight to Zhongguo. The solution was more difficult than the difficulty. The big deal would be to work for the Chongshan Tower for a few more years. The state of Zheng is the largest and strongest small country on the border in Yuyunzhou, and it is difficult for the state of Wu to compete with it. There are 4 fifth-rank sects in Zhengzhou, and each sect has the lowest 2 nascent soul cultivators, and the strongest emperor sect has 4 nascent soul cultivators, and sect leader is a large cultivator with 9 floors of nascent soul. Nascent soul can soar up and become a god cultivator. The distance from Pingyang City to Yekwanfang City is about 100,000 miles. Even if Lin Haoyang is a foundation-building cultivator, he can't keep flying with swords. For every 10,000 miles, Lin Haoyang has to stop and rest. 2 months later, Lin Haoyang had already rushed for more than 70,000 miles, and was still 30,000 miles away from Yekwanfang City. However, at this moment Lin Haoyang had already left the territory of the state of Wu, and no longer dared to fly unscrupulously. Lin Haoyang was cautious all the way. After more than 20 days, Lin Haoyang was still more than 5,000 miles away from Yekwanfang City, but at this moment Lin Haoyang no longer flew with swords, but walked on the road towards Yekwanfang City. Taking advantage of this period of time, Lin Haoyang can also learn more about Yekwanfang City. With a distance of 5,000 miles, Lin Haoyang traveled through many human villages and towns, and also passed some small immortal cultivating families who migrated here. Lin Haoyang also learned some news about Yekwanfang City. Yekwanfang City was built on a 5th-order spiritual vein of Wangjizang, with a 5th-order formation and nascent soul cultivator. Therefore, the security of Yekwanfang City is very high, attracting a large number of cultivators, and the gathering of a large number of cultivators brings the market. The 4 major sects of Zheng State, sect near Zheng State, and even other Dao forces have also expanded here, wanting to divide the cake of Yekwanfang City. However, Yekwanfang City is within the sphere of influence of Emperor Jizong after all, and the nascent soul cultivator of Emperor Jizong is also seated here, so half of the profits of Yekwanfang City must be taken away by Emperor Jizong, and other sects can share the rest. Half of the income, but this income is already a lot. At a distance of 5,000 miles, it took Lin Haoyang 5 days to reach the foot of the mountain in Yekwanfang City. Lin Haoyang was shocked when he saw his true colors. Where is Zuofang City? Its scope is too wide. I am afraid that the cultivator inside is no more than 10,000 people. With the addition of mortals, Yekwanfang City has a population of at least 200,000. 10%. Chapter 59 Making Money. Like Pingyang City, you need to pay spirit stones to enter the city, but Yekwanfang City needs 5 spirit stones, and when you enter Yekwanfang City, you will be protected by Wangjizang. No one dares to do anything in Yekwanfang City. This is equivalent to paying protection fees to Wangjizang and seeking shelter from Wangjizang. Therefore, some cultivators who have enmities, murders, and nasty cultivators often choose to hide here. So Yekwanfang City looks bright, but the money it makes is not clean. Taking out 5 spirit stones in exchange for a residence order in Yekwanfang City, Lin Haoyang walked towards Fang City. It is worthy of being a big city with a population of 200,000. There are carved columns and jade pillars everywhere, and various shops are dazzling. Moreover, Lin Haoyang unexpectedly saw someone pulling a cart with demonic beasts. It was a second-tier top-grade earth dragon beast, covered in scales and bufin. But at this moment, the dragon's horn of the dragon beast was locked by an iron chain, and the rune flashed on the iron chain from time to time. Lin Haoyang guessed that this iron chain should be a specially refined magical item to prevent these demonic beasts from going crazy and being driven by livestock. Lin Haoyang thinks this kind of iron chain is very novel. Although the magical tools are exquisite, the magical items recorded above are mostly ancient things. Although they are powerful, they lack the agility of the current magical items, just like this imperial beast chain. Same. After walking around Yekwanfang City, Lin Haoyang came to a Qian inn and planned to rent an inn to rest before making plans. Qi Yuan Inn is only a medium-sized inn. Lin Haoyang chose this place because he didn't want to be too ostentatious. Secondly, he did not have many spirit stones. As soon as Lin Haoyang entered the inn, a man approached and asked, "Fellow Taoist, do you rent a mortal cave?" Lin Haoyang nodded and said, "I will be here for the first time next time, and I hope fellow Taoist will introduce one or two." Seeing that Lin Haoyang is a foundation building cultivator, the man did not dare to ask for a big one, saying, "The fellow Taoist is polite. Although our Qi Yuan Inn is not comparable to those of the 5th and 6th rank forces, we still have some reputation. The Tianzi room has 20 spirit stones in January. Although it is a bit more expensive, there is an engraved spirit gathering array inside, and the spiritual Qi is rich. There are 15 spirit stones in the ground room in January, and spiritual Qi is a bit worse." Quote. Lin Haoyang frowned. This place is really dark. An immortal cave requires 10 or 20 spirit stones in a month. This price makes Lin Haoyang distressed. Therefore, Lin Haoyang finally chose a place called Immortal Cave, handed over 30 spirit stones, and stayed there first to find out about cultivation technique. Although it is expensive, the stuff is complete. The earth fire room, pill refining room, etc. are all available, and the quality is excellent. This makes Lin Haoyang itchy and wants to refine some magical items to practice his hands. However, the important task now is to find the news of cultivation technique. Lin Haoyang can only press the itch in his heart. Time flies. Lin Haoyang has been in Yekwanfang City for 3 months. During these 3 months, Lin Haoyang ran through all the shops in Fang City, and finally found news about the cultivation technique. Half a year later, Wang Zhizong will hold an auction in Yekwanfang City, and a wind attribute cultivation technique, Fengyanju, will appear in this auction. Hearing this news, Lin Haoyang was happy and helpless, because the auction situation was changing rapidly. Lin Haoyang couldn't guarantee that he could buy the spirit stones in his possession. Therefore, Lin Haoyang used his 5,000 spirit stones to purchase 3 second-tier middle-grade demonic beasts materials and prepared to refine 3 second-tier middle-grade magical items in exchange for some spirit stones. Just after Lin Haoyang had practiced 2 magical items, he was interrupted by a sound transmission note, which was sent by a foundation building steward of Chongshan Building. When he saw the content of the sound transmission, Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. The shop rushed. After learning that Emperor Jizong was going to hold an auction, Lin Haoyang went to Zhongshan Tower, and wanted to ask them to help get an admission invitation. This time, Zhongshan Tower fulfilled Lin Haoyang's request. In the Zhongshan Building shop, a middle-aged man handed a golden token to Lin Haoyang, saying, "Lin, fellow Taoist, I have done what you entrusted, and I hope I can say a few words in front of Xian Elder in the future." Lin Haoyang happily put the golden token into the storage bag, and said, "Shu, fellow Taoist, don't worry. Xian Elder has some friendship with me. I will help you with a few words. However, I still have something to trouble with fellow Taoist." Quote. Seeing Lin Haoyang on the road like this, Shu was naturally also very polite, saying, "Fellow Taoist, just say it." Lin Haoyang didn't conceal it either, and when he took out the 2 latest magical items he refined, he said, "This is the magical item I just refined. Please, fellow Taoist, help me estimate the price." A hint of surprise flashed across Shu's face. The 2 magical items that Lin Haoyang took out were both 3rd-order middle grade, and they were of excellent quality. He had looked down upon Lin Haoyang a bit before. Lin Haoyang had such an ability, and he was more likely to compete with Xian Elder. The relationship is not shallow. Shu smiled. "I didn't expect Lin, fellow Taoist's method of refining so well. These 2 magical items are so powerful, even if fellow Taoist 4,500 spirit stones." Lin Haoyang was overjoyed. This was better than what he had overdue, and he immediately agreed and completed the delivery with Shu. Only 2 months have passed. Lin Haoyang still has 4 months to refine 3 or 4 tier 3 magical items. As long as Lin Haoyang is not too lucky to refine one, Lin Haoyang can harvest about 9,000 spirit stones in the end. However, Lin Haoyang couldn't stand the high-intensity refining magical item, but there was no way. Lin Haoyang was now riding a tiger and had to get Fengyunju. Saying goodbye to Shu Shu, Lin Haoyang bought the 4,500 spirit stones in his hand and bought 3 materials again, and immediately returned to the Qian Inn closed-door training to start refining. Lin Haoyang had to refining these magical items before the auction began. The system is successful. 3 months later, Lin Haoyang finally drove out the last magical item. At this moment, Lin Haoyang's face was very pale, and his soul felt a tingling sensation from time to time. Lin Haoyang knew that this was his uninterrupted refining of magical item, and his mind was damaged. If he wants to recover, it may take a year. Come to recuperate, and this is equivalent to delaying his practice for a year. However, looking at the 4 third-order middle-grade magical items floating in front of him, Lin Haoyang smiled, and the hard work these days was finally in vain. Immediately opened Immortal Cave and walked to the Zongshanlu shop. The auction will be held tomorrow, and he must replace it with spirit stones. In the Zhongshan building shop, Shu Shu looked at Lin Haoyang's pale face and the 4 powerful magical items, and smiled bitterly. Fellow Taoist is really fighting. Is it looking for cultivation technique for own children? Lin Haoyang smiled bitterly, but he didn't explicitly say that for Lin Xiaowen. He had a different feeling in his heart, as if there was an inexplicable fate. That's why he would fight like this. Seeing that Lin Haoyang didn't say anything, Shu Shu didn't ask much, saying, "The 2 magical items refined by fellow Taoist last time were recognized by everyone, and everyone was very impressed with your refining technique. It's a pity fellow Taoist doesn't want to join the Chongshan Tower, otherwise I." Lin Haoyang knew what Shu Shu was going to say, but he didn't want to join the Chongshan Tower. Seeing this, Shu Shu had no choice but to say nothing. Because the magical item refined by Lin Haoyang is very powerful and very popular, the last 4 magical items were bought by Shu Shu for 10,000 spirit stones. In half a year, Lin Haoyang used 5,000 spirit stones in exchange for 10,000 spirit stones, but only Lin Haoyang himself understood the sadness of it, and Shu Shu also took care of it. If you change a shop, its value is about 9,500 spirit stones. Tomorrow is the day when the auction will officially open. Today, Lin Haoyang has a good rest. These days, he is really tired, as if going through a life and death battle. 10%. Chapter 60. Lin Haoyang slept, and when he woke up, it was already the next day. He patted his face. Lin Haoyang cheered up and rushed to the place of the auction. The venue of this auction was in a store under the name of Wangjizong. This auction is organized by sect leader of Wangji and jointly organized by Zheng Guo's other 3 fifth-rank forces. The auction will be held for a total of 5 days, with appetizers in front, and the most valuable Tier 5 artifacts will be auctioned on the 5th day. The scale of this auction is very large, and even nearby 5th-rank forces will send people to participate. Treasures such as Foundation Building Dan and Xianjing are sometimes used by Wangjizong to attract cultivators to participate. The Fengyunju that Lin Haoyang wanted, although it was only a cultivation technique in the foundation building period, but because it was extremely scarce, its price was not low, which was why Lin Haoyang wanted to collect 10,000 spirit stones. Relying on the golden token obtained from Shu Shu, Lin Haoyang entered the auction room. The great hall of the auction is divided into 4 floors. From low to high, they are condensing vessel, foundation building, golden core, and nascent soul cultivator. The one who presided over this auction was the nascent soul elder of Emperor Jizong. There were 2 old men beside nascent soul elder, closed their eyes and rested, as if they didn't care about everything. Lin Haoyang looked at the 2 elders, a feeling of palpitations rushed into his heart, and he dared not look again. Lin Haoyang guessed that the 2 elders might also be nascent soul cultivator, plus the 10-digit golden core in the Great Hall and dozens of foundation building guards. They are really tight. If anyone really dares to make trouble here, they might be caught. Emperor Jizong was killed on the spot. When he came to the 2nd floor, Lin Haoyang found a corner to sit down. This position could observe the situation on the field without attracting the attention of others, which was in line with Lin Haoyang's wishes. As time passed, there were more and more people in the Great Hall. During the period, Lin Haoyang also sensed a few extremely powerful auras. It seemed that some nascent soul ancestors came here to participate in the auction. After Lin Haoyang waited for 2 hours, everyone was almost there. A golden core cultivator wearing a purple robe came to the front and began to preside over the auction. Welcome everyone to come to this auction. For this conference, I, Zheng Guoxi Zong, have prepared a lot of good things for you. Foundation Building Dan and Xianjing will show up this time, but they will be auctioned in the next few days. It only depends on your luck. Without further ado, let's take a look at the first lot. Quote. After Golden Core Cultivator finished speaking, a woman walked to the stage with a tray. Lin Haoyang narrowed her eyes. The cultivation base of these maids had reached the foundation building level. This emperor was really rich. The woman in the foundation building stood still, looked around at the crowd, then unveiled the curtain on the push plate, and immediately a fire, spirit power, struck everyone. 1 Tier 4 low-grade fire stream talisman. The attack power is not less than the Golden Core 3 Tier Fire Cultivator full blow, starting at 3,000 spirit stones. Each increase cannot be less than 100 spirit stones. As soon as the Golden Core Cultivator's voice fell, someone made an offer. 4,000 spirit stones. 4,100 spirit stones. In order to enliven the atmosphere, Wang Zhizong threw this high-rank magic talisman for the first time, which immediately caused some snatches from Golden Core Cultivator and Foundation Building Late-Stage Cultivator. For this auction, who didn't prepare some spirit stones, so as soon as the magic talisman came out, it caused everyone to rob. Finally, a female voice shouted on the third floor. 5,500 spirit stones. Whoever buys 1 more spirit stones will give him this magic talisman. Originally, the price of the flowing fire talisman was around 5,000 spirit stones, but the woman mentioned 5,500 spirit stones. Everyone was caught off guard. In addition, the other party was a Golden Core Cultivator, so no one competed with him anymore, and was finally caught by Golden. The Core woman was exchanged for 5,500 spirit stones. Seeing a Tier 4 low-grade spirit talisman is worth more than 5,000 spirit stones. Is this Tier 4 middle-grade spirit talisman on your body more valuable? Its value is probably no less than 8,000 spirit stones. If auctioned like this, the final transaction price is probably more than 8,000. With a Tier 4 magical talisman detonating the atmosphere, the Golden Core Cultivator continued to push out the spiritual objects. Every time when the atmosphere of the crowd sinks a little, a high-rank object will be launched, detonating the atmosphere again. Lin Haoyang admires the Golden Core Cultivator's methods. With his hand, Emperor Zhizong will earn a lot more spirit stones. By the end of the first day of the auction, Lin Haoyang didn't wait for the finals. On a few occasions, Lin Haoyang had to endure something that was intriguing. There was no way. He really didn't have any extra spirit stones to participate in the auction. At the end of the first day of the auction, people's passion has been aroused. I am afraid that the Emperor Zhizong can earn more. The more so, the more worried Lin Haoyang, the more the Fengyunju was shot, the greater the variables. But things backfired. On the second and third days, Fengyun never appeared. After 3 days, the spirit was tense, and Lin Haoyang was even more exhausted. However, there was no Fengyun decision in the first 3 days, and Lin Haoyang must be on the 4th day, because the 5th order spiritual item was auctioned on the 5th day, and the 3rd order cultivation technique could not be on the stage. Lin Haoyang is not the only one who is equally exhausted. Not far from Lin Haoyang, there are also 2 foundation building middle stage cultivators who are irritable. These 2 are the 3rd rank affiliated family of Zheng Guo's 5th rank power, Dong sect. The purpose of the 2 people coming here is also to make a decision. Like Lin Xiaowen, there is also a spiritual roots in this family. Similarly, they are also preparing to cultivate that spiritual roots cultivator by themselves, but there is no wind attribute cultivation technique. Therefore, after many inquiries, he also set his sights on the Fengyunju. These 2 people will be the biggest obstacle for Luo Haoyang to obtain the Fengyunju. The auction on the 4th day continued, and finally, an hour after the auction, Fengyunju was finally pushed out. Hey, different spiritual roots are extremely rare, and the cultivation technique of different spiritual roots cultivation is also rare. The next auction is a cultivation technique that can be cultivated to the late stage of foundation building Fengyunju. After completing this method, you can stir the situation and use the celestial phenomena to attack. It is a group attack spell. Its value. Fellow Taoist, you can figure it out. The base price of this method is 7,000 spirit stones, and each increase in price shall not be less than 100 spirit stones. Quote. As soon as the Golden Core Cultivator has finished speaking, someone will start bidding, but compared to other spiritual things, there are many fewer people participating in the competition. Because there is no wind, if the spiritual roots cultivator is taken back, it can only be collected as a foundation. However, Lin Haoyang has been tolerant of not participating in the bid. After some observation, it was discovered that the only opponents who could become own were the two foundation building cultivators and the golden core cultivator on the third floor. However, the golden core cultivator on the third floor does not have a great desire to shoot. It is very likely that it just wants to collect it. As prices continue to increase, some people slowly withdraw. And the price has risen to 8,500 spirit stones. Only 2 players are still competing at the moment. Lin Haoyang saw the right time, and suddenly shot 9,000 spirit stones. Lin Haoyang's sudden entry caught the original 2 parties by surprise, and Lin Haoyang also directly ascensioned the price of 500 spirit stones. The 2 golden core cultivators immediately looked at Lin Haoyang with their teeth cracking, and said with anger, 9,100 spirit stones. Lin Haoyang did not hesitate, and said, 9,500 spirit stones. Golden Core Cultivator saw that both parties were determined to win the Fengyan, and immediately cut off the idea of collecting this cultivation technique, because the current price has exceeded its original value. 9,600 spirit stones. The 2 foundation buildings hesitated for a while and said one after another. The spirit stones that the 2 brought this time totaled 11,000 spirit stones. According to their original plan, 10,000 spirit stones should be able to be taken. For insurance, the 2 also collected 1,000 spirit stones. Lin Haoyang was also a little helpless at this moment. His spirit stones had already bottomed out, and now it's up to whoever can't hold on first. Lin Haoyang didn't show any signs on his face, and continued. 10,000 spirit stones. At this price, it is basically at the top. At this moment, everyone in the Great Hall is looking at the position of the foundation building cultivator on the second floor. This competition is really exciting. The 2 foundation buildings are also a little guilty at this moment, and Lin Haoyang's appearance cannot reveal his lowness at all. Finally, they decided to take a gamble and crush all the spirit stones. 10,000. 1,000 spirit stones. Hearing this number, there was a burst of joy on the spot. Even Lin Haoyang heard it. His palm trembled suddenly, and a wry smile rose from the corner of his mouth. And a wry smile rose from the corner of his mouth. And a wry smile rose from the corner